are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. Hope you had a great holiday. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton, on this first Tuesday of July? Thanks so much for being with us here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Happy 4th, belatedly, to you. How are you?
Right back at you. I'm doing great. Good weekend. Nice.
Oh, yeah, you got both kids in town.
Oh, yeah.
You are living large. I'll bet you guys didn't do a thing yesterday.
Didn't leave the house.
I was going to say.
Very 4th of July. Played by the pool. Had hot dogs.
Nice.
Did what we were supposed to do as Americans.
Nice.
Hot dogs, corn on the cob, and played in a swimming pool.
You blow some stuff up?
July. No, we don't blow anything up. The neighbors blow stuff up for us. So.
Man, blow stuff up. Unbelievable. Literally every single house around me last night was blowing stuff up. I'm just curious. I understand it's 4th of July, and come on, I'm very American. You know that. I get the whole fireworks thing. I like fireworks. Although I must admit, growing up, I don't remember, although I did live in apartments until I went to college. So, it was tough to be living in an apartment complex and have somebody, in the apartment complex, set off fireworks. I mean, usually that's some.
Yeah, usually that was a
area.
Meth lab at an apartment.
Right. So I never remembered a whole lot of fireworks from the next door neighbors and what have you. But I understand, with housing, this is a thing. All right. Particularly in Florida, right? You're allowed to buy the fireworks, but by law, you're not supposed to be allowed to set them off, right? Is that still the deal?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, it's not enforced.
No.
Right. So is there a deadline? Is there a fireworks curfew in which anything past, is it 10 o'clock?
I think there is. It's July 24th.
I'm just wondering, is it 11 o'clock? Particularly, and this was awkward. If July 4th falls on a Friday or a Saturday, let's let the party begin. I mean, if the fireworks go off at 1 a.m, you just
deal with it.
You got to deal with it.
Right.
But when July 4th's on a Monday and you're living in a residential area, do you think there's an unwritten rule? There's a code.
All right. Now, you're really vaulting into my area of expertise here, David.
Unwritten rules?
Unwritten rules about fireworks in neighborhoods. And there should be. There should be an unwritten rule, but there is not. Because those that like to blow things up don't really adhere to unwritten rules. They would run the shortstop right over, David. They wouldn't slide and get out of the way, if you know what I mean.
Got it.
So I think what you're wanting is a 10 p.m., a logical 10 p.m. type curfew.
Well, I'm just wondering if there is.
There
That's
isn't.
all. Because I understand also it doesn't get dark until 8:30-ish. And so I understand a lot of people don't want to set them off until it's dark and it doesn't really settle into almost 9 o'clock. And if that's the case, then you're only giving people an hour.
How long do you need to blow things up? Do you need more than an hour?
Well, I don't know that you do. It takes seconds. We're being told in our Twitch chat room, by the way, that DeSantis signed a bill which allows you to set off fireworks 3 days a year. July 4th, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Okay. All right.
Well, they took advantage right up to midnight.
Well,
or so it seems.
Right. That's what I'm wondering. Is there an unwritten rule? Is there a fireworks night code when July 4th is on a weekday and people have to go to work the next day?
The code is try not to blow your hand up.
Well, that's an individual code. And that's a 24/7, 365. I'm just wondering, all right, is there a certain time in which, they're setting fireworks off? That's cool. And then all of a sudden you hear fireworks and you go, come on. It's time to go to bed.
Growing up, a buddy of mine, his next door neighbor was brothers with the person who lived across the street. So the brothers lived across the street from one another. They would, on the 4th of July, sit in each other's driveways and shoot bottle rockets off at one another.
Roman candle wars.
Bottle rocket wars, not Roman candle
Oh.
wars, bottle rocket wars.
So did your neighborhood have a thing
Oh,
over in Miami?
Oh. Well, I wasn't in Miami. I was in Fort Myers, but
No. I mean, growing up.
yeah.
Did,
Yeah.
Okay.
Neighborhood people. lighting
No,
off
I don't
fireworks.
know. I grew up in an
Oh.
apartment complex. I grew
Yeah.
up in concrete. There was no grass. I mean, that you could not set fireworks off in a parking lot of an apartment complex. I mean, because clearly somebody would get upset and you'd get ratted on. No. So there was no fireworks set off when I was a kid where I lived. Now they were set. The apartment complex bordered a park, and we had fireworks every year. I remember the bicentennial. All right, I was 10. All right, big display where my dad's parents lived. All right, they had a huge tower that I climbed up and sat there. I watched the ships come in, watched the show at night.
it'd be beautiful. It would. And I remember more than anything about the fireworks is not the complaints. Every year where I grew up, it would always be we can't afford it anymore. Going to have to raise money so we can have the fireworks. Are the fireworks going to continue?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh. Was it a dog and pony show they could afford it? They were just trying to raise money, or?
Too little to know or
Gotcha.
remember, but I just always, because they were near where my uncle had a restaurant. So they were near his restaurant, and the 4th of July would be a big deal because that was a great place to hang out and watch things getting blown up.
You guys ever seen that video of that barge in San Diego that accidentally blew up like 7,000 fireworks all at once? I think
Yes.
that's better than a fireworks show.
That was a couple years ago, a few
I
years
think it
ago,
was-
I thought.
I think it was 10 years ago.
Was it
actually.
that long already? Wow. But can you, Mark, do some research with your mom, little R&D, just find out whether or not that was a bit of a shell game that was being done every year.
I'm on it.
Whether it was legit every year, and
I'll work on it.
Okay, thanks. I'm just curious. So that's all. Feel free, Twitch chat room, or text in whether or not there is a code. There's an unwritten rule. Kind of, channel your inner baseball. Is there an unwritten rule about fireworks on a weeknight, or hey, it's July 4th, you can set them off until you're done. That's all.
It's your first 4th of July without the dog, so
Right.
at least you didn't have that.
Just right. My wife all day yesterday, I really miss Rufus. And, this is like when they say to you, how do I look in these jeans? There's only one answer.
Right.
Well, there's two. There's hot and smoking hot.
Right.
You have two choices.
You didn't go with I don't miss the dog at all on 4th of July?
I did. I didn't hold back. She had me cleaning out the garage yesterday for 6 hours.
Well,
Yeah. So
you used to have somebody that did that for you.
Right. Now that she, stopped running off with that guy, okay, now I got to clean out the garage. There's a part of me that wanted him to come back.
Just for that, at least.
That only for that, but yes.
By the way, and we love the dogs, but on 4th of July, it's F the dogs. Let the
well-
fireworks go.
Well, it's no. No.
Yes.
No. So it was nice not having the dog last night. I didn't miss the dog yesterday at all. No. Never realized it growing up, never had pets, lived in apartments, couldn't have pets. And so never understood 15, 20 years ago when my mom's mom would stay home with the dog while we went out and enjoyed the fireworks. I'm like, what's that all about? So we had a dog.
There will be more fireworks tonight.
Oh, no.
This goes on all week.
I'm sorry. That's my unwritten rule, especially when July 4th's on a Monday. Come on now. You've had Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. No.
You get a little bit tonight, and then they'll start kicking in again on Friday.
No way. That is a violation. That's ridiculous.
David, you pass 4 places that sell fireworks between here and your house.
Oh, I know that.
At least.
I know that. They've had a holiday weekend, a perfect holiday weekend, in fact. Maybe the only way it could be better is if July 4th was on a Tuesday, to stretch it out. But it's perfect what they've had.
I'm with you. I'm just telling you, I've lived in this state now quite a long time. They like fireworks in Florida.
I know that.
In fact, they love fireworks in Florida.
I got it. I'm just saying that you're vaulting over the line. You're violating the unwritten rules if you are pounding fireworks today and tonight. I'm sorry.
Part of me that wants to get the Twitch chat together and circle Moulton's neighborhood and let fireworks go tonight at about 9:30.
Oh, man.
They look pretty over the water, David.
I'm well aware, but not in a neighborhood. Okay. I mean, not in a neighborhood. Not tonight. It's a Tuesday night, man. Come on.
By the way, and if I'm not mistaken, they're on sale now.
Oh, that's the whole point.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. We're slashing prices.
Oh, I might have to stock up. I'm your worst nightmare.
Really? You're one of those? You're the person that buys wrapping paper on December 26th? You get it half price. You can save it for Christmas next year.
Can't blow wrapping paper up.
Yeah, but buying fireworks on July 5th is the same thing as basically Christmas shopping on December 26th.
Right.
Kept you up a little bit last night, didn't they?
I was fine with it last night. I mean, there was a point a little after 11 o'clock. I literally thought, is this allowed or is this violating one of those unwritten rules? Like, I'll give you till 11, but then at 11, come on, you got to assume people are trying to go to sleep. They got to get up the next day. I I rolled over. I mean, you know me, I don't care. I mean, if you don't set my house on fire, I'm fine with it. And trust me, literally every house whose fence touched my property set off fireworks all night last night.
As much as you say you're all right with it, the tone I get in your voice is you'd really rather live in a neighborhood that didn't shoot fireworks.
Nope. I was fine with it.
I can tell.
No, I was.
Mark, kind of sounds like get off my lawn tone.
It really does.
Not at all. I didn't.
And I'm not. And I sympathize with them. And I actually am almost on your side here. But how it's coming out.
Well, I'm just raising my voice. But I was all right with it. All right, it's 4th of July. I rolled with the punches. But I'm not rolling with the punches tonight.
Will you go out and protest if fireworks are coming up?
I'll yell tonight. I will yell tonight. I will walk out on Lanai and say, hey, you didn't fire these off last night? That's your problem.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, Mac, the irony is the current president of FGCU, when he was a chancellor at LSU 11 years ago, actually was quoted as saying, we're going to end up having two conferences. One is going to be named Fox and the other ESPN.
There you go.
Dr. Michael Martin said that 11 years ago when he was at LSU.
Was he? What was he at FSU?
A chancellor of some kind.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he stepping down?
I believe at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Does he have a replacement yet?
No.
Oh.
Hell, right now they don't have a contract with their faculty.
Go Eagles.
I think they offered the faculty no raise and then a 2% raise like the following year.
Oh my God, they canceled the fireworks.
They had a mass shooting in Chicago last night and yesterday afternoon, and 6 people were killed.
Was that?
That's why they canceled the fireworks.
Oh, that's rough.
Damn, you almost caught that.
I had a friend text me like 2 days before the game, like, yeah, I'm going to the Sox game to see the fireworks. Then that sucks. He stays healthy. That's what we talked about. Did you guys see the triple play in this game?
Nope.
Watch. Check this out. Here it is. Tommy can't believe it.
Did he not touch the bag? Or did he leave it
He
too
didn't.
soon?
He left it way too soon. He didn't think it was going to be caught.
Gotcha.
Nice. Fielded that little two hopper nice too. That's an out. I think that the challenge is one of the best things to ever happen in baseball. I think that was necessary.
They're brothers. That's the significance of that shot.
Oh, yeah. Both pitchers, too. Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC, isn't the kid 17 who set that record?
Ten seconds.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Top of the morning to you. Belated happy 4th of July. Thanks for starting your week off with us, for many of you. Here with the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Just to reiterate, we have some fun and all that, but I have no problems with any and all fireworks on July 4th.
That's what you said.
No. It's what I meant. I did just ask, though, whether or not people think there's a curfew, if you will, on fireworks on July 4th in your neighborhood. Not along the beaches and along the water, but it just didn't know if people thought that in your neighborhood, when the 4th of July is during a week in which you go, listen, I'm all for this, but hey, after 11 o'clock, stop it. I just asked. It was a rhetorical question. That's all. I mean, Blake, got people in the Twitch chat room, questioning, my love of freedom. I'm like, listen, I'm fine with any and all fireworks.
As long as you don't shoot fireworks
July.
off in my neighborhood.
That's not true. July 4th, you could, as long as they don't set my house on fire, I'm fine. Anytime, day or night on the 4th of July. Now, tonight, if you could get them over with 10-ish, that would be preferred. That's all. Tonight, I would prefer not to be woken up at midnight by fireworks.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think you will be woken up by fireworks
Probably.
at midnight.
Yeah, I think there's.
But I think it's a fair request.
Right. I mean, I don't think it's that outrageous a request, but it probably will be at the end of the day. Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Mark, you ready?
Numbers?
53, 58, 65.
There we go.
All right. 7.5 weeks till the backyard brawl, Pitt in West Virginia. Or no, actually, I'm a little off there. 8+ weeks for that. But 7.5 weeks until the whole Nebraska Northwestern across the pond. And for some, that's enough to kick off the college football season. I'm going to wait for Pitt, West Virginia, 8 weeks from Thursday, 58 days away. That, to me, kicks off week 1, a 5-day extravaganza, Thursday through Monday of college football. There you go. That's how you kick off a season, baby. And then 9 weeks from Thursday, Bills, Rams, SoFi. Let's, future home of Big Ten championship games.
Be nice to get ready for the Big Ten season with Monday Night Football. Or, with the regular season, the NFL starting off at SoFi. I was getting a kick out of whether it was Twitter. It was mostly Twitter. Just, I'd peruse over the course of the weekend and different USC sports.
Right.
Announcing their Big Ten entrance.
Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, proud to be. The tweet that I enjoyed the most over the weekend is that USC is closer to Honduras than they are Rutgers.
Should work out well for women's softball.
Right.
And
I don't think it'll affect volleyball and baseball at all.
No,
not at all. All right. Just enjoy the better travel, though. All right. You'll be on a nicer plane.
I didn't see it, but has Walton said anything yet? I really need to hear from Bill Walton.
No, I have not seen or heard a word from Bill Walton.
Conference of Champions.
Yep.
I mean,
which could go away depending on how a certain meeting goes today. Big 12 reportedly meeting with Colorado, Utah, and the 2 Arizona schools. Listen, they leave. You're putting a conference together the way the AAC keeps having to put a conference together every 5-6 years. I mean, it's one thing for the 2 Southern California schools to leave and you replace them with San Diego State and Boise, and, you keep at least most of the toothpaste in the tube, but, 4 more leave. It's over, baby. Notre Dame apparently just chilling out. Hanging out, mixing some cocktails, just enjoying the summer.
Probably shot off fireworks last night at 11:01.
And had no problem with it. They're celebrating either way. Yep. Yeah. They're just happy-go-lucky these days. They are certainly wanted. That is for sure. Apparently Friday, we were done Friday. We went off and began our holiday weekend. Well, apparently Friday was a regularly scheduled meeting day amongst the ACC athletic directors. So they had a big conference call. Now think of the timing of that. Thursday night was the whole Big Ten USC UCLA.
Right.
And then the rumors about Notre Dame. So then at like 11 o'clock, noon, the ADs in the ACC, they're on a big conference call, including Jack Swarbrick. Even though Notre Dame's not officially, not for football, but they are for everything else. And according to sources, apparently Swarbrick was upbeat, didn't seem, wasn't on the defensive. That certain people thought, man, this could be unpleasant. And apparently Swarbrick, forward thinking, just acted as if nothing's going on.
Of course.
Well,
he's a good card player.
Well, he's a great card player, if that's the case. I mean, he ain't a good card player. He's a great card player.
What do you do if you're the other guys in the room? What do you say? You just got to keep on keeping on.
You're totally messed up if you're the other guys in the room. He's got all the cards. He's got the most chips and all the cards, and look how he's acted. He's acting like he's one of us. Oh, it would totally mess me up. Totally. Do I try to poke him? Do I just try to,
You guys going to keep playing USC every year? I mean, how do you ask this question? How do we open here?
Right. Jack, do you see the news last night? Any comment? So they're hanging out. They're hanging out. They'll let everybody know. No rush, though. And reportedly, the Big Ten has said to everybody else, hey, cool your jets. No need to call us. We ain't doing anything till we get an answer from Jack Swarbrick.
That's it. Wherever he wants to go, we'll act accordingly.
Right. If he doesn't want to go anywhere, I don't know if we're going to call any of you back. And if he wants to go somewhere, hell, we may call all of you. So just chill out. Enjoy your summer, boys. Trust me, you'll know if and when something's going on. You won't have to hear it from me.
Well, now there's never been truer words spoken ever right there. I mean, what is it whenever the idea of a coach coming to a place, they're tracking the tail numbers of the planes?
Yeah, totally. Coaching search.
I mean, are there just drones hovering over South Bend right now? Anytime anyone leaves, they make a report?
Well, this could be done over the phone, though.
I know.
You don't have to have a face-to-face meeting for this. This is just wait for the tweet, which somebody goes, sources say, Notre Dame is ... I don't know about you, but because you're better at it than I am. Like when we head into a weekend or a holiday weekend, you can shut it down. There have been times in which you've come in and go, listen, tell me what's happened in the last 48 hours because we didn't turn the TV on at my house. And, I think my phone's on charger in some room.
Me, outside of watching NASCAR, David, that's about all I had.
Well,
Road America.
Russ Chastain with another top 5.
That's what he does.
He's second in the points.
Been that way for a while.
I know. It's our guy. Digress. But how about all the Miami people? I don't know what, and Felipe, you as well. I don't know what you guys have seen on Twitter and what have you, but man, Canes people that I've seen on Twitter, they can't get in the Big Ten fast enough. They want out.
And I think the Big Ten will take them in a heartbeat. I think they're coming with Notre Dame when it happens. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network. Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth. that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Which one?
Huh?
Which one was a disgrace?
Yeah, I know. But he thinks Kyrgios is more of the disgrace. Yep. One American through to the quarters on each side.
Damn.
Taylor Fritz faces Nadal in the quarters.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. About your comment about Miami.
Yeah.
They need to win the ACC first.
Why? Who cares?
I know who cares.
Who cares?
But come
No,
on.
who cares? Other than, I'm not being a jerk. You care. Who else cares? If Miami leaves for the Big Ten to triple the amount of money that comes in every year, who gives a rat's ass?
Okay. But I'll set the bar for this season. It's ACC championship or bust.
You're not better than Clemson.
No?
No.
The
No.
recruits that Miami got this year.
Not
you
the
haven't got a
year.
recruit for this year? You just got a coach. You didn't get any recruits this year.
What are you
The guys that are
talking
signing
about?
are signing for 23.
Well, yesterday, Miami
Alignment
got
signed for 2023.
yesterday.
Yeah, he'll be here 2 years.
At the start of the season, you're not better than Clemson. I mean, they won 10 games last year, and they returned a lot of guys, including the quarterback.
Be better.
Now,
Beat them.
you could make the case that, hey, I want to be the second best team in the ACC and play Clemson in the championship game. Okay.
Okay. Make the ACC championship game or bust.
Thing is about bust, I mean, you're going to be better in 23 than you are in 22. I mean, with the way he's recruiting and with Ruiz's money, and also if you're leaving the ACC, who cares?
I just am tired of FSU fans saying,
Well,
win an ACC, win the ACC.
but even if you do, then they're going to quote to you how many times they've won it and won a national championship while they were in it. And so, you're not going to win the argument with an FSU fan.
It's just the ACC is not pathetic because it's Power 5, but it's the little brother. It's just the smaller.
Hey, Miami hasn't had their act together for a long time. Not consistently. But looks like they do now. We'll see.
I just think that hopes are higher than normal for this season and future seasons in the near future.
Hopes are higher for this season because of the recruits you have for seasons down the road. They're unrealistic.
Oh, that's the Miami way. Unrealistic.
Well, I do think the second spot in the conference is up for grabs.
No, I mean, they could be the second, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but they could be, but
that's-
so could
that's-
Wake.
oh,
So could
second
NC
place,
State.
we don't make the ACC or we've recruited, so that no, he just got there.
No, but the ACC is so weak. Make the ACC championship game. That's the goal. That's the bar.
How many times you made it?
Once.
Then how can that be the bar?
Once, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Would have been a second time, but you were ineligible to play in it.
Yeah. What time or when? What year did they enter the ACC?
Oh, boy.
04?
Don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think they were in it in 05.
2004.
It was 04.
Oh my god.
It's funny. They had a really good team in 05, but I don't know if they had an ACC championship game in 05.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes for the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us on this first Tuesday of July. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. For many of you, thanks for starting your work week off with us. 53 days away from Nebraska Northwestern and week 0 kicking off the college football season. If you don't count week 0, you're 58 days away from week 1 getting underway with Pitt, West Virginia. And you are 65 days away from the Bills and the Rams kicking off the NFL season 9 weeks from Thursday. How about that?
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Inching along.
Yeah. All-Star Week in baseball is a week later this year because the whole, lockout or whatever the heck it was going on there in March. It's a mess. Cluster. But, all right, here's some of what you missed. Time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
We'll start with college football. Why not? Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Arizona State meeting with the Big 12 later today. If you were those schools, what would you do?
Wow.
I mean, you don't have to do anything. You could sit tight, see what Notre Dame does, and decide to stay.
I couldn't make a move right now without seeing what Notre Dame's going to do. Because to me, I'd still think Arizona State would have an outside shot at the Big Ten. It's a top 10 market in the country. Population, I mean, a student population that's through the roof.
Now, usually you got to take 2 schools. You need a travel partner and all that. So that would be the Big Ten either taking Arizona with it or taking either Oregon or Washington. It's an awkward travel partner. You're separated by
A country. I understand.
Notre Dame still pondering life in pursuit of happiness. They'll let the Big Ten know at some point, maybe. Is this like waiting for a pope? If you're the Big Ten, if you're Warren there, are you waiting for like white smoke or something? And what's the sign you're waiting for?
David, I think you're just waiting for the green smoke because everything's about that these days.
Well done. Well done. Listen, I think Jack Swarbrick, if he's going to join the Big Ten, should at least wear the green jersey at the announcement, don't you think? Brittany Griner appealed to President Biden in a letter that was passed on from her through her representatives and made its way into print. She said, quote, "I'm terrified I might be here forever," unquote. And then later on in the letter said, please do all you can to bring us home. And by us, she meant all of the Americans that are being detained in Russia. Griner went on trial last Friday about smuggling drug paraphernalia and distributing drugs in Russia. I mean, there's no debating whether or not she smuggled in drug paraphernalia. There's a great deal of debate about whether or not she was intending to distribute the drugs. Nobody believes that. But could get 10 years in prison. And most people believe that the trial's a sham. So, balls in President Biden's court, pardon the pun, that's for sure. Hammer and Hank Goldberg died yesterday on what was his 82nd birthday in Las Vegas. When you and I first got to Southwest Florida, QAM in Miami was simulcast on the station that you and I ended up being on in our first act, AM 77.
Right.
And they simulcast because the company, Beasley Broadcasting, owned QAM in Miami and owned AM 770 in Fort Myers. And so you got Joe Rose in the morning, Neil Rogers midday, which was just a remarkable show on
so good,
so many levels. And you got a combination of Hank Goldberg and or the Mad Dog Jim Mandich afternoons over a series of years. But Hank Goldberg, who got his start with Jimmy the Greek, he was actually the ghostwriter for Jimmy the Greek's column that appeared nationally for like 10 years in 300 papers across the country. Hank was the one who was writing it. And then Hank made it big in Miami and went national after the untimely death of Pete Axtell nearly 30 years ago. And so, you know, Chris Berman, who was tight with Shula and the Dolphins, and so he and Hank knew one another, and a couple of people advocated on Hank's behalf, and Hank ended up replacing Pete Axtell and did nearly 20 years on ESPN. ESPN did a nice obit, if you will, during their sports centers yesterday. If you were a fan of Hank, go find it, download it. They did a good job. But yesterday was his 82nd birthday. Not many. How many people do you know whose birthday is 4th of July?
2, as a matter of fact.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
so Art, Joe, happy belated birthday.
I mean, I know George Steinbrenner's birthday was 4th of July, and so was Hank Goldberg's. He passed away yesterday. He had kidney problems for the last few years of his life, actually had one of his legs amputated last fall. Hank was 82 years old. Tiger Woods back playing golf. He's playing in this 2-day Pro-Am in Ireland. Got a lot of good players in this field. What is interesting is you got a couple of the LIV guys that are in the Pro-Am.
Well, it's not a Euro Tour event, not a DP World Tour event there, David.
Tiger Woods shot a 5 over 77. He's T43 out of 50 players in this Pro-Am.
Wow, sounds like a cash grab kind of event. 2 days, no cuts.
Tiger shot 5 over on his front 9, even par on his back. Schauffele, a leader, 13 strokes better at 8 under 64. Ricky Fowler's tied for second with a 67. It's still a surprise to many that Ricky hasn't joined the LIV series.
Pressure he is getting from his own inner circle
my
is
goodness.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. The Spieth and JT, Rory have basically said, dude, if you join, you're dead to us. And so for now, he's not joining. Brooks Koepka tied for 4th in this thing. DJ tied for 8th. DeChambeau shot even par despite a 9 on a par 5. Spieth, by the way, got DQ'd because it's mostly a team thing, but for the pros, it's a 2-day individual thing. Spieth forgot. He lags up like a 30-footer on 14 to, 4 inches And somebody in the group's like, that's good. And Spieth picks it up, puts it in the pocket. DQ'd him. Yeah. And then he realized, oh my goodness, brain fart. And so that's it. He's out. But he gets to continue to play.
But he plays because of
in the Pro-Am, makes 2 more birdies on his round to help his amateur partners. Speaking of golf news, Ian Poulter, Spain's Adrian Otague, and South Africa's Justin Harding went to court and won an injunction, although they called it a stay across the pond, to be in the field for this week's Scottish Open. Scottish Open, remember, a joint event with the PGA Tour. It's mostly a European Tour event. It's not called that anymore. It's the DP World Tour. But, those guys they didn't get kicked off the tour, but they were told that they can't be in these 3 co-sponsored events. Well, Poulter and the 2 others sued as European Tour members, and a judge agreed with them for now and said you can play in the Scottish Open. We'll see where this goes from here.
Oh, good.
It's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
If Poulter and these golfers win, look out. But the commissioner apparently is all against these guys wanting to play in his tour. We thought he'd be all for it. He went public yesterday. He didn't name names, but he said, well, one guy hasn't played it but 4 events in the last 5 years. The other guy's played 5 events. Now all of a sudden they want to play my tour. Poulter, meanwhile, is in his mid-40s, is like, I've played your tour for over 20 years. Even when it cost me money and World Golf Ranking points and FedEx Cup points.
And again, I don't know if that's the exact quote from the commissioner, but I don't want you on my tour. More commissioners referring to a golf tour in the personal as opposed to the 2 players on the tour. And that's where this whole problem lies in.
So we'll see where it goes from here. But there's a dozen other Euros. By the way, Paul Casey over the weekend.
He left for the Live Tour.
Right, 44 years old, but he's damn near top 20 in the world. Nearly won the TPC earlier this year. All right, baseball on 4th of July. Red Sox won for the 8th straight time on the 4th of July. They beat the Rays 5-0. Cutter Crawford, who pitched in-state at FGCU, 5 1/3 scoreless innings of relief. Marlins won their 5th in a row. They swept a 4-game series from the Nats, 3-2 Miami. By the way, Marlins hosting Ohtani and the Angels tonight and tomorrow. Ohtani's 28 today. He pitches tomorrow.
Say the word.
Couple of 6:40 starts, I believe. Mets beat the Reds 7-4. Braves beat the Cardinals 6-3. Brewers, by beating the Cubs 5-2 and 10, now have a 3-game lead in the Central. Guardians got swept for the second time in less than a week. Yankees swept them a few days ago. Well, okay, it's the Yankees. They got swept by the Tigers, 4-1 and 5-3. Combine that with the Twins beating the White Sox in extra innings 6-3. Minnesota's leads back up to 3.5 in the Central. Dodgers beat Colorado 5-3, while the Padres lost to Seattle 8-2, and the Giants lost to Arizona 8-3. And just like this, the Dodgers leads 4.5 over San Diego, and the Giants are 9.5 back. Wow.
Giants have been a scuffling. Phillies are actually ahead of the Giants right now.
Yeah, the Giants are 2 games behind St. Louis, who holds down the 6th seed right now in the National League. Phillies a game back. Giants 2 games back. Houston won their 7th straight. Alvarez homered in the 9th to beat the Royals 7-6. 24,403 in Oakland yesterday on the 4th of July.
That's what I'm talking about.
For the A's 5-1 win over the Jays. And Baltimore beat Texas in extra innings 7-6 on a hit-by-pitch walk-off. Wimbledon, Djokovic and Nadal have advanced to the quarters. They seem headed for a showdown in the finals, although the one American left on the men's side, Taylor Fritz, will face Nadal in the quarters. Nick Kyrgios has advanced to the quarters. A couple of 5-set wins since we last saw Nick. Such a low-key, mild-mannered guy.
And it's been very calm with him getting there as well.
Right. No issues. I'll tell you what, that match with Cespedes there, that was very McEnroe-Lendl. You know, Kyrgios acting like McEnroe. And remember how Lendl, when he get mad at McEnroe, he'd just start hitting the ball right at him, try to hit him? All right. Well, that's what Cespedes was doing there. 3 times. He either hit or tried to hit Kyrgios in the match.
I like the fire that he plays with, but he's so hateable. He's such a villain.
Tell you what, though, younger people loved him. They went crazy for him on Saturday on Twitter and TikTok and all that. On the women's side, by the way, only one top 15 seed is left in the quarters. One. There's one American left, Amanda Anisimova. She's going to face former Wimbledon champion Simona Halep in the quarters. I think Halep's going to win the whole thing. And that was
the starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So there you go. Kind of get you, it's sort of caught up. There were a lot more things that went on. I mean, you know, we had a USFL championship game, Mark. And apparently it was a good, exciting game. 33-30, baby.
Well, David, you know, when the Stars are involved in a championship game, if you look at the history, been a lot of barn burners.
Always close and exciting. It is
It really
true.
is.
They don't always win.
No.
But Miller and Moulton. Pat Kirwan is on the show, and he will join us in a touch over an hour. Remember, just 65 days away to the start of the NFL season. Miller and Moulton, thanks for being with us. Where else but on the Florida Sports Network?
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the Chicken Bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the Chicken Bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com. Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Said yes to the trade. I really am.
Puts him in the same exact spot he was in with, kind of like with Tam. I mean, you got a Hedman, and now because he's got what's his face there.
Yossi.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. I mean, you're not getting a raise, I don't believe. He doesn't have, like in the NBA, they give you 15% trade kickers in some contracts. I don't think he gets one of those, does he?
Not that I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either, because that would give him an extra like $1 million a year if that was the case. He's got 4 years left on the deal. He's 33. I mean, if you don't want to leave, hey.
Although, hey, I don't know. These guys might want to really play in Nashville.
Yeah, maybe, but man, when you look at Nashville, how close do you think they are?
I don't.
No, I will say you've won your 2 cups. I mean, maybe you're just looking at places around the league and where you want to live and all that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying if they said write down the teams you'd trade me to, I have a funny feeling, David, that Nashville is on a lot of guys' lists. Pretty inexpensive to live there.
It's getting really crowded. But yeah, I'm with you.
But what does he care? He's got to be close to the practice rink.
Yep.
So I got to go to church this weekend. David, we did God Bless America and America the Beautiful at church because there is no separation of church and state.
Yeah, needless to say, morale was not high in my house.
When has it been?
Not true. Actually, July 4th is a really big deal in our house. We used to go to Jersey all the time. It's actually
So I just mean with given events that.
Well, I mean, it's been a few years. It's been pre-pandemic for sure. But she's not the only female that doesn't feel all that great about the country they're living in right now.
Oh, I'm aware.
The Joe 63 was way under.
Way under.
It's like 74 and a half. Yeah.
When I saw that he was coming in on crutches, though, you had to figure that was going to take 5 dogs off.
Yeah, that took everyone by surprise, and then the protests.
I don't know what crutches have to do with eating, but
I mean,
we can do this on air. I mean, that's ridiculous.
David, it's not regular eating; it's professional eating.
Don't know what crutches have to do with eating.
By the way, Mark, that double play. Not only did he jump over the guy sliding into second, but he threw a strike first. Like
so I thought it was
right
really,
on the money.
I thought it was better than the next 4 plays. You want to give the women's touch goal.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this first Tuesday in July. It is the 5th. Hope you had a great 4th and holiday weekend. Thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Don't know if we have a poll question. Maybe we'll get one together after this segment. But a couple of things I want to throw out there. First off, the hot dog eating contest, which has become a part of Americana, right?
Yeah. It's
Which,
a tradition unlike any other.
well, I believe that's the Masters on CBS, but all right. I guess, Nathan's, Coney Island, okay, make your case. But we did get our big bet of the weekend right. On Friday, we did discuss, of all the things that were going to take place this weekend, over under Joey Chestnut, how many hot dogs he was going to eat. I mean, we did go under.
We did.
And
that was
won
before I
easily.
knew he was coming in on crutches. I mean, that he was already a little banged up coming into the event.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
All
Now
right.
you're saying he was banged up.
Hold on. What does crutches have to do with an eating contest?
David, if you're not 100%, you're not 100%. That's I don't know how else to put it. If
Was his esophagus limping? I mean,
but it could tire the arms out that you can't get the swinging motion going. There's a lot that could happen. Have you ever not brought your A game to the dinner table, David?
Never, not once. No.
Then this could have been your year.
Mark, you witnessed it firsthand. We had lunch together before we did a segment in our first act with Nathan's and the whole hot dog eating. I had 2 double cheeseburgers for lunch. And then an hour later, the hot dog showed up.
I got you, but if you had to crutch over there and then stand up, I don't know if you'd have been as good.
In fact,
you think you would have. I'm just telling you from where I sit.
Tell you what, that's the poll question. All right. Joey Chestnut was on crutches.
Did it affect his total result?
Do you think it negatively impacted his performance in the contest?
What did he get, 64?
Yeah, which is what, 12 less than last year?
That's terrible.
It is.
That's beatable.
Well, I would like to think so. Can we, my wife even asked this. She goes, hey, what happened to Kobayashi? How come?
I think he signed it. Didn't
Right.
he sign with another, like a rival
I
eating
know, but
group?
I know, which is hysterical. I mean, this is like IRL.
I mean,
and
it was
IndyCar.
Live Tour before the Live Tour is what it was.
I mean, don't you, if you're Nathan's, don't you have to get Kobayashi back in this? Don't we have to get somebody who can challenge him?
Yes.
I mean, I got texts yesterday from people saying you need to enter it next year. He needs some competition.
Do you think you can do half of his number?
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So 30.
No doubt I could do 32 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Okay.
No doubt at all.
I'm not betting. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not betting against him. I watched the 12 in 2 minutes. I have video of the 12 in 2 minutes that I can show you during a commercial break.
So you're hitting the over.
From 32 for Moulton,
Over.
I'd go over.
Over. I would definitely go over.
Okay.
And it's not just all the years I've watched David eat food. It was the gentleman from Nathan's that looked him dead in the eye and said, I think you can get through a regional.
Yeah. He goes,
No.
We interviewed these 2 yahoos who are going to do this eating contest. And they were yahoos because they couldn't hold a candle to Moulton. And if you're listening right now, I'm sorry, you are. You couldn't hold a candle to Moulton eating hot dogs. You were outclassed and you thought you were going to be a professional eater and you were knocked out in the first round. It was like Tyson versus Spinks. It was so bad of Moulton taking you down. Then the Nathan's guy, as we were talking after, he said, yeah, I don't know if you could win this regional because such and such is coming in and he's really good. He goes, but the right regional, I think you could get through. Like basically saying he thought David had the chops to get to New York City.
Right.
Even on crutches?
Well, you got to stand for the whole thing. You got a bad knee. I don't know how it would affect you.
I actually think if I was on crutches, I'd eat more.
David, you have to. You're probably gonna squat at some point during a fast eating competition. You're gonna get down.
First off, when you're on crutches, you don't have to be on 2 crutches. You can be on 1. Secondly, the 1 crutch can be angled. You can move on crutches. I spent a lot of time on crutches in my early teens, a lot of time on crutches. Trust me, you're a lot more mobile than you think. You're making him out to be a cardboard cutout yesterday.
But are you saying that him being able to prop himself in a certain way with the crutches gives him an advantage?
First off, you could stand on one leg and what do you have wrong with him? An ankle, a foot? I mean, you can stand on one leg and a couple of toes for 10 minutes and eat your damn hot dogs. I don't want.
It's all about routine, David. These guys get it. I mean, any athlete.
He practiced, a new pre-shot routine, Mark, if you're going to go that route.
Right, he did. And it knocked him down by 12 dogs.
Did you see him tackle the protester?
That was amazing.
Don't talk to me about he was on crutches and it affected his performance. It's absurd.
That was rage, though. You could tell that was rage.
He had the adrenaline going.
Exactly.
Well, how could he do it? He was on crutches.
He's a competitor.
He doesn't have crutches. He eats three more dogs.
I will say, though, I'm disappointed. Nobody got within 20 of them,
Within
right?
20?
I mean, come on. He performs almost 20% less than last year, and none of you can get within his area code? I mean, honestly, nobody on that stage could get to 50? Seriously? Seriously.
It seems as if we've really lost a lot of productivity, a lot of talent in the competitive eating world.
I mean, didn't the woman nearly finish second overall? She ate 40. All right. He won with 64, and I think the next best guy was 44. I mean, she nearly finished second, for goodness sakes.
No, they got to do some better digging.
Yeah, what the heck? I mean, I don't want to make it sound like our plight in men's tennis or anything, but can't we come up with the next generation of hot dog eaters?
One would think.
I mean, am I going to have to practice for this over the next year? Am I really going to have to do this?
Oh boy.
Depending on the regional,
Apparently so.
That is hilarious.
I could do 40. I don't know how much more I can do than that. I mean, I know the whole 12 and 2 minutes, and if you prorate it out, that's 60. I mean,
no, but you're going to keep that diminishing returns are going to happen.
Yeah, but
you think you could get to 40?
Well, I definitely think I can do the over on 32.
I do too.
Okay, which apparently gets you on stage. I mean, I don't think I would have finished last. Put it that way.
Are you kind of fasting before this kind of event?
He had 2 double cheeseburgers before the event.
I had lunch before that. And I mean lunch.
Two double cheeseburgers, so 4 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, I had 2 double cheeseburgers, fries, and a soda. And an hour later, we're in the back parking lot, and I'm doing 12 in 2 minutes.
And he literally looked up. He literally looked up and goes, I wouldn't have had lunch if I known I was going to do this.
Right.
4 patties, 12 dogs, gone.
And the bread. Yeah.
Once he was comfortable with the dipping of the bun in the water.
Because I had never done that before. And I looked at the guy and I'm like, I know you're supposed to do this to go faster. And he's like, listen, and sure enough, the first one I tried without, and it was, just much tougher to eat. And I'm looking at the guys next to me and they're dipping it. And I go, well, okay, let's give this a try. And then sure enough, it works like a charm. Now, I mean, Chestnut there, he does the whole, just the 2 hot dogs. I don't know how he does it where at first he just does 2 hot dogs at once. And then I guess you eat the bun, you soak the buns and you pound those down as well. And I guess that's faster than if you ate each dog with a bun separately. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Would I have to watch tape? Would I actually have to put some effort into this? I was kind of just hoping to show up at a regional and pound about 40 and get to Coney Island.
Would you be able to tell your family that you were going for competitive eating regional?
Well, don't laugh. After the Nathan's guy said, you really should, that was the reason why I didn't do it. I go, come on, this would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? You make this thing. I mean, more people would make fun of you than congratulate you. I mean, wouldn't they go, hey, you fat slob, congratulations. I mean,
well, especially because some of those guys are skinny. Right.
I know.
You couldn't out-eat the skinny guy, huh?
Yeah. I mean, so I just thought it wouldn't be good for my career. And what an amazing career I have, to get in the way with, making the finals of the hot dog eating contest.
Now you have a name. You could be Lava Man.
I mean, I just figured my wife and daughter would be embarrassed.
I know your daughter wouldn't be anymore.
You don't think so?
The wife would be. I think the daughter would laugh hysterically. Now with the granddaughter, she'd be rooting you on.
How about that as the poll question? All right. Would you be, how would you feel if you qualified for the hot dog eating finals? Proud or embarrassed? Or how would
Ashamed.
you feel? How would you feel if, I don't know, your spouse or your best friend or whatever? How about this? How would you feel if your best friend qualified for the Nathan's hot dog eating finals?
I'd be very proud of you, David.
You're just saying that.
I'd be very proud of you.
You would not. You would bust me mercifully.
David, I have video of you knocking out 12 dogs, and I treat it like it's a Stanley Cup victory. What are you talking about?
If David gave Joey Jaws a run for his money, I would be so proud.
Me too.
No. And I don't think I could give him a run. Okay. But I do think I could make it there. I really do.
We'll train.
I mean, come on.
Hey, if
no
40s was
problem.
medaling, I think you could get, you could have a shot at medaling.
I mean, I know I can do half of it. I do.
Just got to practice, You won't catch Joey. Joey's a top 10 athlete of all time,
Well, that I will say, though, I mean, how often do you practice? I mean, this isn't like running a marathon where you really got to get in shape and what have you. I mean, no offense. I've been practicing I'm 56 years old. I was 35 pounds in a year. I've been practicing for 56 years. How much training do I have to do for this?
I mean, you've already done a lifetime's worth.
Right. So
You've been training for this event your whole life. It's right there for you.
So what do I do? Like a month before a regional, just, I don't know. First of all, somebody's got to make me 40, 50 hot dogs. I mean, what do? I'm going to go over your house, okay, and train?
You think I'm going to give you 40 Kogels? You're out of your mind.
Well, so I gotta practice once, right? I mean, I can't just show up cold. I mean, isn't this like golf and the USGA? I mean, don't you have a proper handicap?
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost clubhead speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the Chicken Bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Are we in agreement that a hot dog is a taco
Okay.
and not a sandwich?
If someone close to you took part in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, how would you feel?
How would you feel about them?
How would you feel about them? A, proud, B, embarrassed.
How would you feel about that person? Proud, embarrassed.
An answer, Canada Relief. It is a debacle.
Mello, stop. Stop. It's not a sandwich. It's a taco.
I agree with him, though. It's closer to a sandwich than a taco is.
Because a taco is a tortilla.
Yeah, tortilla compared to bread. But
compared to bun. But the principle of it.
My daughter was funny yesterday. Dad, I'll have the hot dog the way you want me to have it. Thank you, honey. Chili, mustard, and onions. Here you go, sweetie. Eat away.
Chili, mustard, and onions. See, I don't like mustard, but I think I might try chili mustard.
Stewart's used to do it. Used to go there for the root beer and the chili dogs, and that's how they would do their chili dogs. Just my father is one of the few memories I have growing up with my father and I. We would go to Stewart's and we would just pound it.
It was an old A&W that changed names. It was no longer an A&W. It was Old Town Coney Island, but it was still the
right. Put the tray on
your window, right?
God,
my dad and I on Tuesdays. My dad come home from work. You want to go get dogs? And it was 60-cent hot dogs on Tuesdays. So we drive over there, and it would be
packed.
It'd be 2 or 3 each, and then she'd come back over. 2 more. It's the best.
Walmart, your fireworks
Lewis
suck.
Black, saw it on TikTok. I don't know how old it is. He does a bit on Skyline Chili on Cincinnati and how fucked up people are in Cincinnati.
Really?
They're putting chili on spaghetti. Who the fuck?
We'll say our buddy Mo Egger. Oh my god, he is obsessed with Skyline Chili.
So bad.
Eats it all the time. He loves it. Gets on people who makes fun of it. He absolutely loves it.
So bad.
Eats there 2-3 times a week.
I tried. Like I went there and
they brought it to the press box last year for the game. Nobody in the booth touched it. I did. Okay.
Not good.
Okay.
It's too much beans.
Yeah, it's not my preference at all. All right. But I mean, it's a Cincinnati thing. I'm in Cincinnati. Okay, I'll do a little bit.
Paul, mayo over mustard. That's just how I am. And if mustard is on a burger with some ketchup,
the other one I saw,
I'll eat it.
Because there's,
No.
you got a lot of these women 7-second, 8-second videos that come on your algorithms. I've done enough that I don't get like the softcore porn on my thing anymore. I don't get women in bikinis. I've passed enough of it. But I did see it was a woman, and it show like the top what the chat says. Him, send me a video of you playing with yourself. She's sitting on the ground, and she's got 2 toy cars. And you go.
That's funny.
I laughed my tail off. Like, that's good stuff. Oh, we don't have time.
OB. At Marlins Park, there's a concession called Obies, named after Orange Bowl.
Thanks for listening. And now, more of Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Having a lot of fun on this first day back for the 4th of July holiday. Hope you had a good holiday weekend. if you can, if you still have leftover fireworks, what have we said? You live in a residential neighborhood. What we do a little 10 o'clock cutoff tonight. Is that fair?
Sure.
All right. Try to get it in by 10. People are back to work and that sort of thing. 10 or 11? What do you say?
It's 10.
Okay.
I mean, it is 10. It's not going to work that way.
Just saying.
You're going to get some 10:30, 10:45 noise.
Oh, you're going to get some 12:15 noise. Oh, yeah. Some people getting home, they're working the late shift, and,
and fireworks are expensive.
Everything's expensive.
No, I know, but to just go blow things up and spend a few $100s to blow things up in your front yard isn't something that I would do.
I had a somewhat traumatic experience over the weekend.
Oh, boy.
Can I talk about it? Is it okay? It's not sports related.
All right.
Pat Kirwan, by the way, will join us at the top of the hour. We'll talk NFL. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm going to take my headset off for a second. But I got a haircut.
Yeah, you did.
And
a lot of cut.
Right. You've known me a long time.
Right.
Over 20 years.
Yep.
Right. Have you ever seen me look like this?
No.
Okay.
You have a haircut much like the haircuts I get.
Yeah.
Really high and tight on the sides.
Yeah.
And you've got good hair. See, I don't. I've got to keep it like that because this is a train wreck.
Okay. So went for a haircut over the weekend, Sunday, in fact. And I'm first one there. And I go to the same place that I've gone for over 15 years. It's $20. I mean, we're all the way up to $20 now for a haircut. I mean, I think when I first started going there, it was like, I don't know, 11 to 13. Now it's all the way up to 20. Right. Throw my $30 down on the counter. Thanks a lot. 15 minutes, I'm out. So there are certain things that you never want to hear from a pilot, from a surgeon, from someone cutting your hair.
Whoops.
There you go.
That's the word.
There you go.
She had a whoops.
No, he
had a whoops.
He had a whoops. Now, this guy's never cut my hair before. Okay. And I don't care. Male, female, I don't care. The only thing that usually, depending on my mood, I just don't want to talk. Okay, let's just do this, thanks, boom, out of here. If I want to talk, I'll initiate the conversation. Otherwise, it's a business transaction, 15 minutes,
Can I just stop for a second and tell you just how much I adore you? Because here is the poor person who cuts hair all day. And I don't know, I dated a hairdresser for a while. She was a talker. So, she had the ability to talk to anybody, have a conversation with anyone.
Yep.
And I'm sure still does.
Right.
But to say as the customer, and you're right, in theory, that I'm the customer, I initiate the conversation. But you are going into their place of work. You're sitting down in their chair that they pay for.
No, I'm the customer. No. You work for me for these 15 minutes.
I understand, but they work.
Comes first.
But a lot of they rent those chairs out.
Plus, also they think it's part of their job. They think people want to be friendly to them. Right? No, I'm the guy that's like, no. I'll take 15 minutes of quiet would be awesome.
And I'm right there with you, but I give off the persona that just says, "Don't talk to me."
Right.
For whatever reason. And I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't come off as an a-hole, because I apparently do, because I sit there and they don't talk to me.
Wow. That's a gift. Maybe you can teach it to me, because, I walk in.
I thought you had it too.
No. I have it, but apparently I don't bring it with me to the place
but
where
when you're the first one in too,
right?
You are saying, hey, everybody,
exactly.
I got here early to see you guys. How's everybody doing?
Well, also,
don't know why I turned into a top 40 DJ.
I don't either, but damn.
The place that you went to, it was a barber shop, right?
No,
it was a haircutting
place. It's a chain place,
right?
Okay, that does your hair. $20, no blow dry, no product in the hair. I mean, just
we're in, we're out.
Wet it, cut it. Thank you very much. I'll see you in 3 weeks.
Zip in, zip out. Right. It's like going to Wisconsin.
Right.
Because a barber shop, I feel like that's where you got to talk.
So, oops. All right. He stops and I'm not even looking in the mirror. Okay. I've got my eyes down, not my head, but my eyes. And in fact, I've even had my eyes closed. All right. Let's just get this over with. Oops. And I can feel that he walked away from the chair. And I open my eyes and I look and he's not there. And he goes over and he gets the owner. And she's cut my hair 50 times over the years, easily, maybe even a lot more. And she comes over and I like her and the whole deal. And she takes a look at the right side of my head and she goes, oh boy. Oh. Now, I turned my head so that I could see it in the mirror. And Mark, if my head of hair was a football field, he shaved the entire red zone on the one side of my face, of my head. Okay.
Thought he had it on a certain number and obviously had it on a different number.
Apparently something happened.
Okay.
He wasn't using the scissors. He was using the shaver plastic thing. I don't know. It moved.
Somehow the guard on the clippers went to another level.
It was supposed to be a 3, and instead it was a 1.
Yeah.
Right. So
high and tight, everybody, is what you want to think here.
And it's the one thing it's literally the only thing that I say that I don't want is high and tight. Okay, I do. I go, what I don't want high and tight, so that all I have is literally a patch of grass on the top of my head. That's the one haircut I don't want. Okay, got it. And then, and I say to them, listen, I'm going to be quiet. I'm just going to sit here, do whatever you got to do. And, and so then this way they don't talk to me. Right. So now I got the red zone taken out of the right side of my head. Okay. And so they come up with the plan to, no, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. We'll blend it in. And I'm thinking, I don't know how you're going to blend that in.
Not much to blend it with.
I've been getting my hair cut for over 50 years. I ain't never seen that before.
In fact, you put my head in a blender from the way it looks right now.
So then he, does it at that level all the way around my head to the other side. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why'd you have to do it around the back? I mean, I'm about ready to get tapped on the shoulder and join the Marines here. I'm like, hold on a second. So now here's the dilemma. So I am not happy. I mean, this is one of the 3 worst haircuts I've ever got. Okay. Now I still tip what I normally tip. And I'd say, listen, don't worry about it. It's a head of hair. We're not.
Fortunately, you and I have enough. It's going to grow back.
I literally said to him, I go, listen, I have a contest with my wife, how long it takes her to, get notice that I got a haircut. I go, I have to admit, okay, this time she may actually notice it within 5 days. I go, relax. It'll be fine. So, I'd leave the normal tip, the whole deal. Stuff happens. Well, I hate the haircut. And I mean, hate it. Hate it. Every single person I run into for the next 2 days, love your haircut. Oh, wow, you look good. You look so much younger.
Dude, I like it.
Oh,
looks like a powdery Luka Doncic out here.
See, Felipe, it looks great.
Oh, for goodness sake!
He looks like Luka Doncic.
You do look younger.
You look handsome.
I've been fighting it the whole show because it looks really good.
Yeah. Every single person, male or female, young, middle-aged, or old, has said, man, like your haircut. I hate it. It's just the one look I've never wanted to have.
It's a good look for you.
Unbelievable.
Looks like he's getting ready for like a presidential debate or something.
Well, I mean, or a hot dog eating contest.
Oh! Got to look good for the cameras, He
doesn't. It's so perfect. He doesn't even need any product in it.
I never put product in my hair. Oh,
it'll grow back, David. It'll be okay.
I hate all of you. I really do.
Miller and Moulton, your high and tight radio show, right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com. Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
That boy is faded up. That boy is taped.
By the way, okay, Brittany Griner writes letter to president. Doesn't president have to be capitalized there?
Yes.
It really? President is like God now? President and God get the same treatment.
This fucking computer sucks.
Hmm?
There we go.
Which is interesting, KW, because usually the shorter, tighter haircuts make you look skinnier.
Did it say President Biden or did it just say the president?
The president.
Then it's not capitalized.
I can't imagine a time where you reference the president of the United States and president's not capitalized.
But I think it's only capitalized when you used Mr. President or President
If
Biden.
they don't put President of the United States, maybe it's not.
Wow. I would capitalize it. And it doesn't matter who's in office. It has nothing to do with that. It's just
Oh, no. I
the
get what you're saying.
office.
Yeah.
By the way, there was a championship game that second year. They lost to Georgia Tech late in 05, and that's why they didn't make the ACC championship game.
Okay. Because they had at one point I think it was the first or second Thursday in November. They were the number 3 team in the country. They played Virginia Tech on a Thursday night in Blacksburg. USC and Texas were both unbeaten, but Miami was 3rd at that point in time in 05.
They beat number 3 Virginia Tech. Stumbled 2 weeks later against underdog Georgia Tech. Miami second conference loss of the season, costed a place in the inaugural ACC championship.
Gotcha.
Game. And then they went to the Peach Bowl where they got their asses kicked by LSU.
Right, and that was the beginning. That was the
end.
end.
Was the end.
Okay. I don't think so, Paul. I say July 4th, usually. I never say Independence Day. But I also usually don't say 4th of July. I usually say July 4th.
Oh, I messed up. We got to go bald.
What?
That's a meme. Internet meme.
Okay. Sorry, what I'm listening to you and also the first words out of your mouth is I messed up, and we're
Sorry,
commercial
sorry,
break.
sorry. Oh, I
You
messed
can
up.
see how
We
that
gotta go
gets me.
bald.
My buddy watching on Twitch goes, I got to agree with the guys. It looks good. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Now, I don't know if it was, I'll have to try to catch the crawl again, Tim. I don't know if it was to the president or it was to president.
It was to president. Oh,
Okay.
no.
So I
Thought it
don't
said
know.
the president.
And I don't know if that matters. But to me, it just seems as if the office, it's a capital P at all times.
Ten seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. 22 minutes before the hour. Man, this is, everybody likes my haircut. Everybody who's watching on Twitch, everybody, buddy of mine who's known me for 40 years. Almost. Next year it'll be 40 years we've known one another.
Makes me want to get a haircut. I'm so overdue. I want to look that good.
Do we have a poll question?
We do.
Thank goodness.
What do you think of David's haircut?
Powdered Luca.
Someone
boy.
close to you qualified for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. How would you feel about that person? Proud or embarrassed? And right now, David, we are proud of you.
Well, I haven't qualified. I haven't tried. I think I'm going with embarrassed. All right. I think I am.
Would you be more embarrassed about qualifying for the hot dog eating contest or that haircut? Because I really like the haircut. I think you're reading way too much into both of these.
I'm going embarrassed with the poll question, but it could determine whether or not I give it a shot next year, whether or not I try to qualify.
Text her, David. And if you want to text the show, text the keyword FSN radio if you've never texted to 21,000. This person says, I can't wait to get out of the car and call up Twitch so I can see this haircut.
It's not. Oh, boy. Not only that, it cut off, I don't have many dark hairs left. I mean, it cuts off a lot of remaining pepper also. Now it's all salt.
David.
Don't.
There was pepper in that?
Oh, Lee.
I mean, they do make white pepper.
It's a hell of a show. Hell of a show for me. I'll tell you.
Competitive eating. Is there, you know what we need is a senior division of this.
Oh, wow.
I said we. I did not say
wow.
you. In the over 50 crowd, you might be able to take this whole thing.
Well, first off, are we sure? How old's Chestnut? He's been doing it a while. I mean, is he still in the 40s?
38.
Come on.
He's a
He's
baby.
38?
Wow, he looks older.
Well, when your diet consists of hot dogs
Right.
70 at a time.
So, all right. I'll tell you what. I'll look into the schedule.
I wish I still had that guy's card from Nathan's.
I mean, there was a time in my life in which I actually was trying to qualify for U.S. amateurs and what have you. Now we've advanced to the part of my life in which I'm going to see what it will take to enter the hot dog eating contest.
If there were a senior division, would you try for that? Or do you feel that there's only one way to do this?
I don't want to be in the senior division. Remember, Mark, I'm 56. I don't have an AARP card.
I understand that, but there could be money. I mean,
Mark, I don't take the discount when it's offered because of how old I am.
Why?
Because I don't think of myself as...
I understand that, but...
No, I don't want it.
When do you start getting a discount?
It depends. Some places, do it 50. A lot of places at 55 offer it.
Huh.
They consider that senior. I mean, think about it. If AARP is giving you a card at 50, so
I know you can't just move up a T when you get to 50.
I mean, there are times in which people ask me how old you are, and I know they're doing it because they think I qualify for a discount, and I go, "What's it to you?" I mean,
to the server,
or the person at the register, right? How old are you?
What's it to you?
No, none of your business. That's what I say. I'll give you my phone number, for whatever you guys need for your records. Fine, I'll do that. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. Look at me. I'm old.
Old enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you carding me for alcohol? Otherwise.
How old are you? Well, I'm on the back nine. In fact, I'm probably on 13 or 14.
Problem is now with that haircut, they're just wondering. They're just thinking you're sprightly and a lot younger than you actually are.
Oh, boy. KG username in our Twitch chat room goes, "Hey, Mark, who's the new guy on the show?" Unbelievable. Miller and Moulton. Pat Kirwan at the top of the hour. We'll talk some NFL. But one thing I do want to throw out there. Now, obviously, we're having a lot of fun today. A little less sports than we normally do. Coming off the holiday weekend, even though there was a decent amount of sports that took place over the holiday weekend. But I think we're waiting for the shoe to drop in college football, and still got the Deshaun Watson thing that's hanging out there, some of the bigger stuff. And then next week we'll have Open Championship next week?
Yes.
The Open Championship?
Yes. It's St. Andrews. But Major League Baseball took a little heat yesterday because, it was the 4th of July. And the Yankees weren't playing. And neither were the Phillies, for that matter. Now, why is July 4th a big deal? Well, you got to go back to 1776, right? What was the biggest deal city in our nation when it first started?
New York.
Philadelphia. Right.
Sorry, Philadelphia. Yeah.
And if it wasn't Philly, then, it shortly became New York.
Right.
What are you doing? That's what people were saying in Major League Baseball. What are you doing? You don't have the Phillies and the Yankees playing on the 4th of July. Never mind the fact you don't have them playing at home. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, the team down the road is called the 76ers.
And there were some people that were saying, listen, if you're Major League Baseball, we were talking about it last week, in terms of if you were to split the schedule, one of the advantages of it is that your stretch run for playoff spots would be during the time of the year in which most years there's no basketball, there's no hockey, there's no football, the whole deal. You would have the sports world in this country largely to yourself outside of a little golf or a little NASCAR. Well, the NBA still wants to hold on to Christmas. We think the NFL has all but taken it from them, give it another year. And, there are certain holidays in which you think, the NFL has Thanksgiving. And if you're baseball, shouldn't you Memorial Day and or 4th of July make those big days, right?
You should. And I don't understand why. Look, I know it's Monday and I know you have a lot of teams that travel, but going into the season that the 4th of July is on a Monday. Skip all the America red, white, and blue crap. Aren't they in business to make money? No, and I'm not.
I know. It's why I brought it up.
So when you have a Monday when no one's going to work, you'd want every team playing baseball. Correct. That is the one day when hey, guys.
Yep.
And I helped do schedules for minor league hockey teams for many a year. And, one of the things we always wanted, can we get a game the Wednesday before Thanksgiving? Why? Everybody's home, looking for something to do, want to go out. Always a great night to draw. And what was it? It was a midweek game that you got to have a weekend attendance for.
Right.
Well, what the hell is the 4th of July? It's a Monday that you get Saturday afternoon attendance for.
And I don't even think, Mark, it matters what day of the week it is. I don't think it matters if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or what have you. But
it happens to be this year that it was on a Monday. Next year, too. But it does apply more on Mondays and Thursdays.
Right.
Because those are travel days in baseball.
Right. And sometimes that's when people are given days off, teams.
And so it's just hey, I know it's a Monday. We have to make sure that we have 15 games being played on July the 4th. It's very simple.
And obviously, the historical context of Philadelphia, I thought, was clearly missed. You can't count on whether or not a team is going to be good or not. Although both teams at the beginning of the year, when you're putting the schedule together, the thought of the Phillies was that they were an above 500 team. Whether they were a playoff team or not, we'll see, but that they were likely an above 500 team. And the thought, obviously, with the Yankees was that they were a 90-plus win team. And right now, they're playing historically great baseball. They're on pace to win $117. That's how amazing the season's been so far. I mean, to think that they're on pace to win more games than any Yankee team ever is astounding. It's take your breath away. That's how well they played. And then to not have them at home, like also certain days in history, Lou Gehrig's speech was on July 4th at Yankee Stadium. Dave Righetti threw a no-hitter at Yankee Stadium against the Red Sox on July 4th. George Steinbrenner's birthday was July 4th. I mean, there's certain things in which you just go, man, what were you guys thinking? I mean, they are the Yankees. I know you don't want to give them preferential treatment and all that, but one day a year, they at least should be playing.
They should be playing. That's, to me, the home and road can happen.
Right.
There needs to be 15 baseball games on July the 4th. I mean, that's all.
Think about if they give you the Yankees. Like in Oakland, we commented, they had 24,000 yesterday. Well, if the Yankees are there, they get 36. They get it sold out. It's the Yankees. It's the other thing. I mean, hey, give someone a sellout if you want.
Well, and that's what it is. It's a weekday gift for a really good attendance.
So if you're Major League Baseball there, I mean, you've got a chance. Football's claimed Thanksgiving. They're dangerously close to claiming Christmas. The NBA is, got their hand up saying, no, that's ours. And, maybe we'll give it to them for one more year. But the NFL is going to start doing 3 games, on Christmas.
Yeah, they can have Christmas if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday is basically what the NFL is saying.
So, but if you're Major League Baseball here, and I understand that the NBA and NHL playoffs can get in the way of Memorial Day, but I'm thinking if you're running that sport, don't you have to first start with Memorial Day and then really make July 4th a big deal?
Well, make July 4th a big deal, and for that matter, Labor Day too. Yeah, I know there's a college football game that's going to be played at night, but it's the last day you have before the NFL season is full on.
And in a good chunk of the country, they refer to it as the last weekend of summer. In Florida, we just refer to it as the first weekend of September. Our summer's going for a little while.
So. Yeah, we have 2 more months of summer come Labor Day weekend.
But just a thought, and I don't know if, there's probably a couple of Yankee fans out there who were bummed they didn't have a game to watch. Maybe the same with the Phillies as well, who are hanging in there.
Just
knock on wood after
a game
Harper's
back right now
of the playoffs.
All in the win. They're tied in the loss column. I think they're 2 back in the win column.
Yep. Hanging in there. They did lose 2 out of 3 to the Braves, but they're hanging in there. So, and I think it will determine whether or not they're active in or around the deadline and whether or not they have Harper get the elbow surgery or not.
Yeah, and right now I'd be leaning towards they're not because they are right in this sucker.
Yeah, they're not planning on it as of now. Right now, they're he had the thumb surgery. They're planning on him coming back mid-August. So we'll see. The trade deadline's August 2nd. But just a thought, is that a big deal or not? If you're baseball, should it be?
It should be.
I thought so.
It to me, and I don't want to treat baseball like a minor league sport, but attendance still matters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely it does.
And when you get a gift, you take advantage of the gift. And not having everybody playing on July 4th is a mistake.
Did you ever go to a major league game in and around the July 4th holiday? I went to a fireworks night once as a kid. I think I was 15, maybe.
Never. I mean, it was 100 miles to Tiger Stadium from where I grew up. So
right, it wasn't around the corner.
It was a once a year thing. We're going to go to a game, and it was never really. I was always picking opponents more than I was picking dates.
I mean, Felipe, yesterday you went to the beach for 8 hours.
Yeah.
If the Marlins were home, roof open, would you have gone?
Roof open, yeah. I mean, they got to open the roof.
Well, I'm guessing they're opening the roof on July
Obviously,
4th, but maybe not. Maybe it's too hot.
That stadium with the roof open is completely different. It is gorgeous.
It is
beautiful.
It is. You can see the skyline of the city in the back.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is. We'll say it again, by the way. They're hosting the Angels tonight and tomorrow. They've won 5 in a row. Ohtani is playing tonight against Alcantara. So you get to see an ace for the Marlins, and you get to see Trout and Ohtani for the Angels, and then Ohtani's pitching tomorrow.
Say no more. I mean, come on. What, $20?
I mean, don't you think these next 2 nights are kind of worth paying attention to? They've won 5 in a row, too. If you're within 100 miles of them and you're remotely paying attention, I mean, can they do much more to get you to the ballpark?
No, actually, they can't do anything more.
They're playing well. Got their best pitcher pitching tonight. Got Trout and Ohtani in town, and Ohtani's pitching tomorrow.
Think they'll do 40,000 for the 2 games?
Oh, wow.
That stadium doesn't even fit 40,000.
Yeah, it does. For the 2 games.
For the 2 games.
I'm sorry.
Once again, there you go.
Yep.
Boy, that's a great over-under right there.
They should.
I'm going to say they go over, but I'm not confident. Pat Kirwan next.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost clubhead speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts or online, flgolfcarts.com.
If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. FLGolfCarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, FLGolfCarts.com. FLGolfCarts.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So 40,000 across the 2 games. They might go over. Yeah, they'll go over.
David, I've got week 1 lines in front of me.
Already? I mean, is it too soon? Never too soon for week 1 lines?
No, never. Ever.
Oh, wow. Got the Cowboys getting 2 at home against the Bucks.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, cap.
That's the first line I liked.
I'm hitting that.
Vikings getting 2 at home against the Packers, David. Game that you would have been at if Joe and Troy didn't jump to Monday Night Football.
What's the game again?
Packers, Vikings. Vikings are getting 2 at home.
Well, no, we'd be in Dallas. Unless that's a... Oh, that's Sunday night?
The 2 afternoon games are Giants at Titans.
Yeah, you're right.
Who did the Dolphins play week 1? The Patriots?
Yep.
Patriots.
You got to hang up
I like the Lions getting 4 against the Eagles week 1.
Stop. Where is it? Detroit?
Yes.
You think they win off the bat?
It's week 1. Weird crap happens week 1.
Sammy Watkins week 1. Week 1, Sammy Watkins, one of the best wide receivers of all time.
$73-27 right now. Proud.
Yeah.
By the way, it ended up being 61-39. Care what conference your team plays in. A 26-year-old Ravens linebacker. Did you see what he died of? Fentanyl and cocaine.
Damn.
It's because the cocaine he was doing had fentanyl on it. That's the problem. That's why you can't touch that stuff.
Did you see the arrests they made yesterday? The amount of fentanyl that they said they could kill like 100 million people. The amount of fentanyl that they found somewhere yesterday.
Don't do blow. Please. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers. 10, 9, 8, 76ers. I got to call Pat right now.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Third and final hour of Miller and Moulton for those listening on this first Tuesday in July, whether it be in Tampa, St. Pete, Port Charlotte, and Venice, or Lake City and surrounding areas. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. Thanks for starting, for many of you, your work week with us, Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Pat Kirwan's kind enough to join us on this Tuesday. He, of course, moving the chains, weekday afternoons, NFL radio. Pat joins us courtesy of Pinchers. From Tampa to Key West and over a dozen locations in between. Pinchers, because you can't fake fresh. Pat, how was your 4th of July holiday?
On Cape Cod, one of my daughters has a house up here, so really good, fun, and I feel like I was running a day camp for like the last 3 days. So
maybe you need a day back at work, is what you're saying?
I'm locked in an office in their house and very happy to stay here all day.
Pat, during the summer months, so when you think you're running a day camp, do you ever once in a while start analyzing them the same way you break down the offensive lines and the tight ends for every team?
You know, it's funny you say that. I did not play lacrosse, but I was telling two of them, you can't handle a stick that way. So I said, look at your father, who was my son. I said, he played lacrosse. Do you ever see him sliding his hands up and down that stick like that? No. Well, that's what, if you keep doing that, you're going to get checked every time and the ball's coming out. So, yeah, you start coaching all the time. But I got to shut up. But I'm hiding in this room today, and hopefully it rains.
Anybody doing any work this week? Or literally, is this the week in which there's 7 people in the office building? Is there anything going on this week in any of the 32 franchises?
Yeah, I think it's never ending. So we know that Mrs. Robinson is working on her decision and the NFL is working on theirs. So there's always the legal stuff going on. But I do think the pro personnel people take advantage of this time to set their emergency board, which we talked a little bit about last week. And now that you kind of see the rosters are set up pretty much for camp, you always, as a pro guy, I was a pro guy for a while. I love that job, but you have to anticipate injuries on day one, and you have to anticipate the head coach and the GM coming down to your office and wanting to know who's available, who's healthy. Have we worked them out? What are the final grades on these guys? So those pro guys, if they're doing their job, for them, they're getting their ducks in order. And if they have pro scouts, like I had a bunch of pro scouts, we might be double checking like 20 guys. Okay, look, they never signed this guy. Why? Let's go find out. So those guys are doing stuff. The college guys aren't doing anything. The coaches are absolutely chilling out and trying to make believe this vacation is going to last a long time, play a little golf and fish. A lot of them are golfers or fishermen. So, yeah, it's pretty quiet, but pro personnel guys are taking care of business.
Are those the guys, Pat, the pro personnel guys that would have been watching the USFL Championship and paying attention to that league? And is that where we would see any of these guys that might make a training camp roster come from?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to, let's say, for the sake of discussion, there's 10 running backs on your board that are free. That would be, at some level, candidates to replace an injured player on your roster. Now you take those guys from the game or from the league, and you say, okay, do any of them fit in the top 10? Is there anyone that would bump out one of these guys on the board? And sometimes you do. You have a guy and you say, right now we consider him number 8 or 9 on the board. And so the board's not real deep right now, but you got to remember that when 32 teams start practicing, there are injuries in, I don't know, the first day there's going to be injuries in 7 or 8 teams. And if 5 teams have a running back go down, that little list that you have, basically everyone else has, probably in a different order. And then now you're scrambling to sign a guy. And so, yeah, I think there's a couple of them, unique positions, punters, kickers, long snappers, those kind of guys. I mean, you can evaluate them with a stopwatch and accuracy on kicking. So, yeah, you probably will place a couple of them in there. And some positions you realize, like offensive line, you might have to have 25 names. And that doesn't mean they're all good. It just means next guy up if we lose someone. And then you got to look at you got to stack the list also by how much they cost. you might have no cap space. And so when you lose a guy, you're really looking for the bare minimum. And hopefully you can get that kind of guy in there. Some teams have a lot of cap space and they're going to want to go after the best guy. And then there's still tradable guys out there. And, you start thinking about, if you're the pro guy, you're not calling the other team to say, hey, let's talk deal here. No pro guy is calling the Cleveland Browns to orchestrate a trade for Baker, but you're just trying to put all those things in order because as soon as we hit the camp, and it might even be guys that fall off the plane and break an ankle. You just have to start thinking about all that. That's the deal. I used to like that job because they need you all of a sudden, and you better be on your game. You cannot say things like, well, we'll watch some tape and get back to you in an hour. You say that, and that guy signs with the club down the street, you might as well just pack your bags and go home.
He's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, weekday afternoons. He's also part of CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joins us at least once a week and twice a week during the hardcore part of the season, courtesy of Pinchers from Tampa to Key West and many points in between. Pinchers, because you can't fake fresh. All right, two-part question. First part, did you watch any of the USFL championship game Sunday night?
I did not. I'm not in pro personnel anymore.
Okay. And secondly, there were a couple running backs, and you and Jim have been going through position groups on your show. I watched Bo Scarborough, former Alabama standout running back. And I thought to myself, man, the Steelers, outside of their starter, they don't have guys who we think are really NFL caliber. I mean, I'm just wondering, do you think 7, 10, 12 guys are going to get signed between now and training camp from that league to fill, spots 89 and 90 on the training camp roster? Or do you think that league is being largely ignored?
Well, I think it's ignored in one sense. I mean, anyone who's been in this business a long time remembers guys coming out of the USFL the first time, NFL Europe, and a lot of them are physically fatigued. I mean, what they need is a rest. And if you bring them to camp right now, you really haven't done your job with your own roster. You built that roster while those guys were playing, and you had that chance to sign every one of those guys before that league started, and people passed on all of them. You bring up an interesting guy, though. So Big Bo, and everyone knows him in the league, so he's got an NFL grade from people, and he went and played. So if you're a team that loves big power backs, or you don't have one anymore, or you want to back up, let's use Tennessee as an example. You feel like, we want to get a guy behind Derek that can make the team, but also we don't have to stop this run scheme that we have with Derek. So you might think of him as a guy that you'd like to put on your roster. If you have big plans in Green Bay to give the kid from Boston College more work, then you might say, let's get another one in here. But most of the guys on the USFL guys are going to wait now and use them as pieces when injuries happen. I don't think they're going to say, because when you go to I should have said this first. If I go down the hall or call the head coach who's on a golf course right now trying to relax for 2 weeks and say, hey, coach, I just got done grading Bo Scarborough. We thought he played pretty well in the USFL, and we'd like to cut one of our guys and put him on the roster as player number 89 or 90. He's going to go, nah, you know what? We just got done with OTAs. We're going to go with what we have for the first week of practice. If we don't like somebody, no one's had pads on yet. So all these new guys, college free agents, when you put the pads on and you go, I don't think he's tough enough, or you know what, he doesn't run as big as he is. A lot of that happens. He looks like a big power back, but he's not. Then all of a sudden you can make a case to bring in Big Bo. That I think is how that'll happen.
Pat, it's as I'm listening to you, and I get it. The factory is college football, but it sounds like to me down the road, this league has a lot of potential because there's not room for the guy who improves after college for the NFL. I mean, you either get in the league or you're done. And it sounds like the USFL could at least provide the opportunity for someone to get better, because we watch players who make teams continuously get better, but there's nowhere for that guy to go to get better, is there?
No, there's not. And so the history of these minor leagues, and I don't say that in a negative sense, is that players, just to your point, Mark, they go from underdeveloped or cut in camp the first year out of college to playing. And I will say this, there's a lot of guys coaching in that league that really know pro football. They know the NFL game. They know there's two guys on their team. So there's going to be a lot of calls to those guys, especially coach to coach. Oh, so you like Bo Scarborough? Now I'm trying to sell Scarborough to the head coach. He goes, okay, who's he playing for? He's playing for Tampa. Oh, good. I'm going to call up their head coach, Todd Haley, and I'm going to say, hey, Todd, can he play in our league? No, coach. Or yes, he sure can. So you're going to get a lot of that. Now, if you get that into the equation, and so many of the guys in that league have coached NFL football, then those endorsements mean everything at some point. And I think most of the coaches in that league are not trying to hide their players to keep them for next year. They are going to help those guys get to the NFL, because when they get cut, they're going to come right back to them at the USFL if that happens. So there's merit to that, and most of the guys will be double checking with those coaches. Those guys will give the biggest endorsement that'll get a guy into camp.
Well, Pat, make something up as to why it is you have to hang out in that room, for hours this morning.
Well,
okay.
I already did. Once you guys hang up, I won't be taking my headset off. I'm just going to leave it on.
He's Pat Kirwan. You will hear him later this afternoon, moving the chains, NFL radio, and he joined us once again, courtesy of Pinchers. Pat, all the best on your vacation that you don't want.
Yes. I'm working on quarterbacks. I can't leave it alone. See you later.
Pat Kirwan, kind enough to join us again here on Miller and Moulton. No, don't bother Grandpa. Look, he's got his headset on.
He's got his headset on. He's working on the third string quarterbacks in the National Football League today.
Either that or he's calling up his friends and he's talking to them through the headset. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
When Pat was talking about lacrosse, was he talking about his son or yeah?
I was grandson
His
playing it.
grandson, yeah, grandson. I miss Rafa versus Federer. Some of the best sports has to offer.
So on Sunday morning, they ran that announcerless Tigers Royals games.
yeah.
I actually saw a few people on Twitter comment that they liked it. Somebody had an interesting suggestion. They thought that every team should offer this as an alternative broadcast.
Kind of like how League Pass, like NBA League Pass.
Oh, do they have alternate? See, I don't get an NBA League Pass, so I don't know what they offer. I'm thinking in terms of like when ESPN airs the national championship and they have multiple broadcasts,
right,
that it was being proposed as you've got your primary broadcast and then you should offer this feed somewhere for every broadcast.
So if you're going Bally, for example, like Bally Sports, yeah, you could easily do that, like on the streaming service, like on the app.
Haircut looks great.
Unbelievable. My mother, by the way, doesn't like it.
Ah, there you go.
Thank you, Mom.
You know what, Mom? I usually take your side. I'm not here. You're wrong on this one. And I don't say that lightly. I'm afraid of you.
I mean, you're just looking more and more like Joe Burrow. That's the way I see it.
Boy, if you said that around Joe Burrow, I think you'd be suicidal.
Joey B.
Tigger Phelps turned 81 yesterday. A wife did notice it right away. Now, I will say, I think she knew I was going to get one.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily count.
No. Johnny Mac, I'm surprised McDonough agreed to the trade. And I hope Lightning fans remember that. He gave him a terrific 4.5 years, I'll tell you that. No, Yinzer, this is higher and tighter. Well, it's not only the $6.5 million they save for this year, it's the money they're going to save for 3 years afterwards. Because this cap's only going up $1 million a year.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. And that's where you go for our poll question, in which we look back at, well, the hot dog eating contest from yesterday. We got talking about it. Nobody's given Joey a contest even. We think they got to bring Kobayashi back. Redo the rules. I don't care. He left for a rival league a decade ago.
Right. Is that rival league still in business?
Yeah. I mean, come on. Let's get him back in. I mean, come on. Joey won by 20 hot dogs yesterday.
Right. I mean, if Brooksy and DeChambeau can start getting along, can't we bring Kobayashi back with Chestnut?
Yeah. I mean, raise the purse for goodness sakes. But it then led to a discussion about whether or not I should enter, because the feeling is amongst us that I could at least do half of what Joey Chestnut does based on a 2-minute hot dog eating contest that I was in, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Every bit of that.
And so, and then that led us to, you know, one of the reasons why I didn't enter into the hot dog eating contest at the local level all those many years ago was I thought it would be embarrassing.
And I don't think that there were a multitude of reasons. I actually think that was it. Like, I think we discussed it, and you just looked at me and went,
It'd be embarrassing.
I'd be embarrassed to do this. I can't do it. It's embarrassing. And that was the word you kept going to. And you know I'm prodding him on, trying to get him to do it.
Right. And you know, I don't embarrass easily. I mean, you know, when you do something public for a living for 35 plus years, you don't embarrass easily. But I really think that might be, and I've tried a lot of different things, you know, a couple of zany things over the years, whether it was local TV or radio, but anyway, so that led to our poll question.
So if David Moulton qualified for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, how would you feel about if someone close to you qualified for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, how would you feel about that person? David, proud or embarrassed? And right now, 70% of our audience is proud, 30% is embarrassed. I think I'm going to need those numbers to be 75-25 to get Moulton to do this. I think anything shy of 3/4 vote could hurt our chances of David Moulton becoming the competitive eater that we all know he's got right there.
Yeah. There's a couple of things, you know, going on today. The other one was that I had a haircut,
and it
Sunday.
Looks great. Our Twitch numbers are through the roof, and I think it's fully because of your haircut.
I had a haircut in which literally while during the haircut, the person cutting my hair went, oops, and called over the manager/owner. And she went, and I quote, "Oh boy." All right. So, and I don't know if any of you have ever had that happen before during a haircut. And in this case, normally, you know, and I have no idea what each number represents, but I get it cut at number 3 on the sides. Well, something happened in which, you know, the whole right side of my head there got cut at a 1. And it, you know, it's like all of a sudden you show up at the football field and the red zone has been triple cut. You know, the rest of the field's at a certain level, and then all of a sudden the stimp meter in the red zone is 18.
I was going to say, David, the sides of David's head are running at a 14 right now.
There's
this
no
is
doubt
Augusta
about it.
National.
Exactly. And the players are going, man, if it's this fast on a Thursday, what is it going to be like on Sunday? So they then shave the whole rest of the head except for the big divot that's on top of it. That's hair. And I hate it. I think it's one of the 3 worst haircuts I've ever had in my life. And every single person that I ran into over the next 48 hours really likes the haircut. We've talked about this before on this show. My wife never notices a haircut of mine, ever. I walked in the door from just running errands, and I walked in the door, and my wife went, "Ooh, nice haircut." Now, you know, when you've been married 26 years, to get an ooh, you know, before noon.
Right. That's like a mighty nooner these days.
That's just closest I'm going to get. So, daughter loved it. was doing the whole FaceTime thing with the granddaughter, and she goes, "Ooh, Dad, your haircut. I really like it. It makes you look younger." Oh, for goodness sakes.
Both Felipe and I think it looks good, and it's not, this is not piling on. I'm like,
No.
I've resisted the whole show.
The only person that is on my side is my mother. She doesn't like it.
I think she's just being nice.
Nope. She even said, and here's why, and told me her reasoning. So everybody on Twitch loves it, thinks this needs to be my new look.
One of the biggest audiences we've had on Twitch in a long time. People just running to see the haircut.
Unbelievable. So between the haircut and the hot dogs, this is a tough show for me. It really is. I am bothered by the fact that nobody can give Joey Chestnut a contest here. That's ridiculous. I mean, this is like U.S. men's tennis. Are we really this bad off?
We can't get anybody in the country that can knock down 60 dogs. I mean, just to even make it a fair fight.
Right.
I don't care if Chestnut wins, but can we have a fair fight?
Wasn't there somebody a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, that like really battled him late? Like, Chestnut had to get into the 70s because this guy got in the 60s. I mean, nobody got within 20 of them yesterday. Are you kidding me?
There's some random dude out there.
Yeah.
There's got to be, and his name's David Moulton.
Absolutely.
Someone asked, didn't you guys do a steak eating contest once? And we did at Shoeless. They have their 48-ounce porterhouse on the menu. And David and I were both entered into the contest. And I think David finished second.
I did. And we both thought I won it, but they said that there was literally.
Apparently, he needed to pick the bone up and start gnawing off of it.
Yeah, apparently I left a very small piece of meat on it, and they said that it cost me. So, yeah, I finished second.
Because I finished fourth, because I looked up at one point, and I said, I can't catch Moulton and the other guy, so I started enjoying the rest of my steak. I had the 48-ounce steak in around 8 minutes. David was about 6:30.
Yeah.
And I think I could have been right around the 7-minute mark, and I just looked and knew that I had no shot, so I kind of calmed down.
So, A, I can eat, and B, I can eat fast. So,
well, we've done most of our eating during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
We've been competitive eating for 15 years.
In fact,
longer.
I've been doing it since I was 9. Right. My mother, she worked 3 jobs. Can't tell you how many times she picked me up when we showed up at McDonald's or wherever it was, and she said, "We got 15 minutes." Okay.
Doesn't seem to be a problem.
Let's go. Oh. Can I get a second cheeseburger with that, Mom? And her answer would be, "If you can eat it in 15 minutes."
Love the people that have texted the show today to tell us that David's haircut looks great.
Oh, man.
Very appreciative. If you've never texted the show, the keyword is FSN Radio. The number is 21,000. You can text the show that way. You can get a hold of us on Twitter, that Mark Miller, the David Moulton on Twitter. And you can find any part of the show that you missed at floridasportsnetwork.com and any of the usual places where podcasts are at.
Don't know if the big story in sports today is going to be from Wimbledon. Don't know if it's going to be Colorado, Utah, Arizona State meeting with the Big 12. I mean, hey, meeting goes well. Big 12 can make an offer. Hell, they could accept it. I mean, I'm assuming the people meeting with the Big 12 are in a position, they got to be the decision makers, right?
Well, yes.
You would think.
Here's the other part of this. At least no one's really gone, yet. Miami fan is on Twitter saying they want to go to the Big Ten, but we've not heard any rumblings of anybody going after the ACC. It won't happen until Notre Dame figures out what they're doing, because no one's leaving the ACC with the cost preventative measures that are put in place until Notre Dame's made their decision, and quite frankly, until the Big Ten makes them an offer.
Well, and I don't know what school wants to be the first to challenge the ACC. I think they're all might be looking at one another going, let's all make the move together. Miller and Moulton. We've got some numbers that may interest you next.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit, featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a power strap kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So how would you guys react if Kevin Durant got traded to the Warriors? Would that interest you? Because if you're Golden State, you got to go for... No. Well, for their future, it's a dumb move, of course, because they'd be giving up their everything they drafted. Kuminga, Poole, Wiseman. But if you get Kevin Durant, that's another ring. Easily. That's another ring. That's another championship team. And you're right, because Wiggins, I forgot to mention Wiggins. He's the center of all that. But that's another championship. I hate Durant. Don't worry, I'm with you. I hate Kevin Durant.
I must say the Wimbledon booth must be one of the smaller television booths. That looks claustrophobic.
Yeah. I mean, look how high the ceiling is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a box right there. Mark, would you be pissed if the Warriors traded for Kevin Durant?
No, I wouldn't care.
I know you wouldn't care.
You don't care. I don't get pissed about trades. Any trade to me is a good trade because it brings things to the show. I don't get pissed about things that give me content. Why would I get pissed about things that give me great content?
It would give us great content. But me being pissed would be great content. I'd be so mad. Oh my God.
I hate to break it to you, Philly. You being pissed isn't great content. You're pissed off about things a lot.
I mean, it gives us something to talk about, is what I'm saying.
Maybe for a segment.
Yeah, Dre. That was crazy. Turn one of the F1 race. I mean, if the halo wasn't there, he would have died. Halo saved his life.
By stay, do you mean starts the season or stays?
There we go. Boy, I like this. TheLines.com. And it's an NFL website. It's not a cocaine website. I like this. Nice little thing they got here. You can put whatever week you want in the NFL. You can do the spread, the money line, the over-under, or what I have is the blended one. It's a nice little thing. It shows you all the different books.
So, Mark, EA, they just made an F1 game, F1 22. It looks amazing. I gotta buy it.
Got beat by both my daughter and my son in golf last night.
2K golf?
Yeah, my
Nice.
daughter's better than me. She's 8.
Come back.
That would be tough to do.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
It's 22 minutes until we're out of here in Tampa, St. Pete, Port Charlotte and Venice, and Lake City and surrounding areas. The bonus hour begins at the top of the hour for those in the 239. Thanks so much for, well, listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. That's where you go for our poll question, which is if you knew someone close to you, and they were in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, would you be proud? Would you be embarrassed?
We'd be proud, David. We'd be proud.
You're just, I don't know if you're just saying that because it's me and you're just egging me on for selfish reasons, or if you're being genuine.
Yes, and yes. But I'd still be proud of you. When I saw those fat heads of Chestnut with the mouthful of hot dogs, I was just thinking of having a fat head of Moulton at the event and holding up the big, I mean, Felipe and I would be there with big sticks and we'd be going nuts.
Really, you'd be there. You'd be there. Next
David,
year,
I'm not joking.
4th of July is on a Tuesday.
Well, first off, you got to get to New York.
Right.
I'm talking about the regional. If the regional was within a 150-mile drive, I think half of our Twitch audience would show up to watch you
Oh,
eat.
come on.
Oh, my God.
No,
That would be amazing.
well, I don't know if I'd tell anybody where it's at.
That's where I come in.
Right behind you, Mark. Right behind you.
Just, if I do this, just let me do it in silence.
No,
No. This is
you do your whole damn life in the public eye, and maybe your greatest achievement would be in silence?
Hold on. This would be my greatest achievement.
If you made it to New York?
I grew up an hour away.
Yeah, but that was just by birth. This is by invitation to one of the elite sporting events in our nation.
It's not a sporting event. It's eating. It's an eating contest.
So you really don't consider eating a sport, huh? Since when?
Don't disrespect Joey Chestnut like that.
Eating is not a sport.
We certainly have treated it like one.
Top 10 North American athlete of all time.
It is not a sport.
So I think I don't think it can be done in silence if you're going to do it. And you know what? As Yinzer points out, you've spoken very highly of your competitive eating, what you think skills are. Like you've said on the show today, I can get to 32. Well, better than I. You've said it very matter-of-factly that you can get to basically half of what Chestnut did,
Yes.
which I think is going to put you in top 5 in the country right now.
Is that top? Would that really have been top 5 yesterday? I mean, it wouldn't have won the women's division. I mean,
I got you, but
she ate 40.
she finished second, didn't she?
No, I think there was a guy with 44.
All right. So it's still,
Yesterday's field was pathetic. I'm sorry.
well, that I think is a problem. I do
Right.
think competitive eating's reached its peak. Thank goodness.
But it's not, that could have been the poll question. Do you consider it a sporting event?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
I'm just having a little fun.
All right. Good. Oh, I'm glad.
There has to be competitive chicken wing eating.
There's
right?
damn near everything that they're eating.
Now you go flats there. If you had the option to go drums or flats, what would be faster for you?
Flats. Because you just
guess.
suck them right off the bone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I was thinking.
All right. We got numbers.
We do, and not the how many days until numbers.
Right.
But in the course of the last couple of days, week 1 spreads have come out. We start right out with the Thursday night game, Bills and Rams.
65 days away, ladies and gentlemen. 65 days away.
And according to the Caesar Sportsbook, the Rams are a mere 1-point favorite against the Bills. And I actually, looking at this with different lines, FanDuel and DraftKings have the Bills as a 1-point favorite. So this game is a virtual pick'em to get the season started.
Well, the Bills are a better Super Bowl bet right now than the Rams are.
Yes, they are.
Which is interesting.
But the game's in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
So a 1-point spread in that one. And I love the beginning. For the Bucks are a 2-point favorite on the 2 to 2.5 point favorite on the road, taking on Dallas week 1.
A rematch of week 1 last year. Terrific Thursday night game in which the Bucks won at the gun.
The Dolphins, a 2.5 point favorite against the Pats to open up the season at Hard Rock.
Only 2.5, huh? That's interesting to me. By the way, people in the last 3 days, like the 4th of July weekend, NFL people decided we're going to talk up the Jets. It was a very interesting groupthink that's taken place in the last 3-4 days. Everybody trying to talk up the Jets.
Why?
And say things to the effect of they think that maybe, like you and I both think the Lions will not finish last this year.
Right.
We think the Bears will. And we're not saying we think the Lions are going to be a good team. We just think that they're not going to finish 4th. And people think that, remember, Joe Douglas did have a great draft. The 3 first-round picks, got the Florida State guy, and then got traded up in the 2nd round, got the best running back, a lot of people thought, in the draft early in the 2nd round. So, they just think that with some of his drafting in the last couple of years that the Jets could really surprise people this year. And it caught me by surprise.
The Jets, for the record, since I have them all in front of me, open with the Ravens. The Ravens are anywhere between a 4.5 and 6-point favorite, depending on the book.
Now, that game is in Jersey, right?
Yes.
So that's Baltimore as a 5 to 6 point favorite on the road week 1.
And for the rest of the Florida teams, just to get it in there, the Washington Commanders are a 4.5 point favorite against 4.5 point favorite against the Jags. Hosting the game at FedEx Field are the Commanders.
All right. So Bucks, 2.5 road favorite. Dolphins, 2.5 home favorite. Jags, 4.5 home dog. Thank you very much.
Russ is anywhere between a 3.5 and a 4.5 point favorite as the Broncos go to Seattle week 1.
I'll be there. That'll be interesting. I think he gets a rousing ovation, and then he gets booed the rest of the game.
Who's the home team for Raiders at Chargers? Who will have more fan support at SoFi?
The Raiders.
Like, it won't be close, will it?
Oh, I think it'll be at least 2-1.
Right.
I mean, when the Rams host the Niners, it's 60-40 Niners, at least in the regular season game. Rams organization and fans did a much better job of making that 50-50, maybe even slight edge Rams fans for the NFC Championship rematch there. But, for the regular season finale, it was well over 60% Niners.
Two biggest numbers on the board week one for those of you that care. San Francisco is a 6.5-point favorite on the road at Chicago. And the largest number out there is Houston, and they are taking on Indianapolis, where the Colts are a 7.5 to an 8-point favorite on the road in Houston.
Wow. That's a pretty big road favorite.
Right. Tennessee at home, 6.5 favorite over your Giants, David. Those are the three biggest numbers on the board. Everything else inside of that magic touchdown marker. Cincinnati at actual touchdown. They're a 6-point favorite over the Steelers.
Okay.
At home.
Take the Steelers out of the equation. I think Jacksonville, 4.5-point home dog to a team that has not been above 500 for a few years. Even though they won the division 2 years ago, they did so with 7 wins. So that's Jacksonville.
Right.
Houston, a big home dog to
Indianapolis.
The Giants, a significant home dog.
Road dog. Giants are on the road. They're at Tennessee.
Gotcha. And then Chicago's a significant
home dog.
I mean, this is also Vegas letting you know who we think the really bad teams are going to be here. I'm telling you, the Bears have a chance to pick first overall. I really think it's going to be a bad year for the Bears. I hate what the new GM did. He spent the really valuable draft picks drafting a secondary. They got rid of Mack. The other defensive lineman's likely to be traded here at some point.
Their offensive line's bad.
Their best receiver left. They got one running back. There's going to be now another system for the second-year quarterback, and I don't think they've done anything. For as much as we have said in the past, the Jets and at times the Dolphins and other organizations have committed organizational malpractice. You think what the Bears have done the last 2 off seasons to make life better for Justin Fields. It's awful. Awful. He's got one of the 5 worst offensive lines. He's got one of the 5 worst skill position groups in the league. And now he's on his second coach and second coordinator. And now he doesn't even have a veteran backup. I mean, he had Nick Foles he could turn to. I mean, Nick's a great teammate, even though he was 3rd string last year. Nick will help anybody out. He is a good dude. Who's he going to turn to this year?
And as you mentioned, their skill positions are bad. They have no running game.
They got the one running back.
I know, but he's done nothing.
Well, the line's awful.
And they don't give him, and they hadn't given him the ball, so we don't even know if he was good.
Montgomery?
Yeah,
he's a good back.
He's a good back, but he's been underutilized and underperformed in the time he's been in Chicago. We don't know if it's the running back or the system or the line or a combination of all of it, because he's not lived up to what he was supposed to do. You can blame most of that on the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I blame all of it on the coach and the GM. Matt Nagy's play calling and then the GM for that offensive line. But I just think you got to be all in. I mean, look at the difference. The Jets, their approach with their second-year quarterback, and look at the approach that the Bears have had with their second-year quarterback in terms of the pieces that they have put around him since the moment they drafted him. I'm not talking about even before that. The Jets have done what? They have invested in guys around their quarterback. The 2021 draft was about offensive linemen and the Carter, the running back from Carolina. And what's the acquisitions been since? It's been the wide receivers and the tight ends and the running backs. I mean, there's going to get to the point in which it's going to be like, well, kid, we've done our job. Now it's up to you. Justin Fields, meanwhile, is going to be out there alone. But, hey, they got a young secondary. That'll help them.
Well, that'll be great as Aaron Rodgers picks that apart because, well, the offense cannot sustain any drives to stay on the field.
Did you see the Rodgers stat last 2 years, NFC North games? 12 games against the NFC North.
Right.
Last 2 years. 38 touchdowns. No interceptions.
It does warrant the draft picks.
That's or you can spin it the other way and go, well, I got to score points to beat these guys. Miller and Moulton. So we went through all the games there.
I think there's a few more. Saints and Falcons. The Falcons are getting 4.5 in that one at home. There's a bunch of home dogs. Like the Lions are a 4.5 point home dog.
You know what's interesting? The last 2 years since we've gone to 17 games, remember how we always had the 16 game stat? That it averaged for a 15-year period of time that half the winners week 1, 8 out of 16 made the playoffs, and a quarter of the losers, 4 out of 16, made the playoffs. That's how it averaged. And those would be your 12 playoff teams. Last couple years, it's been a higher percentage than that. I mean, very few teams who have lost week 1 have made the playoffs the last 2 years since they've gone to a 17-game season.
Just curious right now. The Browns are playing the Panthers week 1. I don't know which team Baker Mayfield's playing for. But there's a line in this game, even though we have no idea. I guess we can assume Jacoby Brissett's starting.
Against Sam Darnold. Right.
Browns laying 3.
On the road?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, they're a lot better. I mean,
I think you just jump that line and hope that Baker's playing for him by the time week 1 comes along.
Playing for who?
The Browns.
I think there's a better chance he's playing for the Panthers.
I know.
Will Baker Mayfield even be in a training camp when
No.
all of us do our fantasy drafts?
Ooh. Now you're talking mid to late August. Yes, by then. An injury will bring him in somewhere. But he won't be on a training camp roster to start training camp.
And most training camps, rookies in a couple weeks, veterans in 3 weeks. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening, Florida Sports Network.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost clubhead speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. e-motorcycles. Check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mark. Hey, there you go. So this kid that Djokovic is playing right now, his name is Yannick Sinner. He's 20. This poor kid, man. He's just getting abused by Djokovic.
Well, we'll see if it continues. Sometimes
Yeah, sometimes things happen.
they play it nervous first set.
Yeah, that's a good point. Tennis is very unpredictable.
Well, not really.
I mean,
Not on the men's side.
but yeah, this poor little 20-year-old having to go against the monster that is Novak Djokovic.
Well, yeah, he has lost a match on here in 5 years.
It's still only the fourth longest streak. They showed it up there, and I don't know who they were. It was Borg at 41. Federer got somewhere around 40, and I don't know who the third one was.
Nadal. It's got to be Nadal.
Not
No.
here.
Oh,
Not
at
there.
Wimbledon.
Probably Sampras.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were talking.
Probably
winning
Sampras,
streak.
because Sampras had a stretch where I think he won 4 in a row.
So, and again, it was just something I didn't,
Right.
I just didn't, we're doing a show and I looked up and like, what is that? And I just kind of glanced. I mean, I've gotten a lot better, David. All bets are off next week when the Open starts. I've gotten a lot better about not looking at that thing very much.
Oh,
Got a good text to start the segment.
Great. Yeah, the melon is nice and tight.
Such a good cut.
Hate both of you.
anytime Nadal would come to Miami for the Sony Open, you know, all the Miami moms were particularly fond of him.
I know.
And the fact that he picks his balls, picks his crack, goes sniff, sniff. That's an Nadal hit. Oh, out. Five seconds.
You are listening listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Bonus hour, Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you had a great 4th of July holiday weekend. And thanks for being with us on this first Tuesday in July. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Our poll question: if somebody close to you made it to the finals of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, would you be proud? Would you be a little embarrassed for them? And right now, pride is what, 70-30?
76%.
Oh, my goodness.
76%. It's gaining big time, David. Maybe persuading you even more. Got this text, David.
Uh-oh.
I'd be very proud to call someone my friend or relative if they were in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Now, if they only ate a few, I'd be embarrassed. You have to at least compete. 30 or more, or I don't know you. And he finishes with saying, competitive eating is a sport. It's on ESPN. It's an effing sport. NASCAR's nothing but Sunday driving.
It's the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. I think this qualifies under entertainment. No? I mean, come on. Eating is a sport. It's an activity.
I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's really either. It's just eating.
I mean, that could be our poll question tomorrow.
It could be.
Is this a sport? No.
I mean, walking is an activity. Eating is something you do. It's a survival mechanism. Without it, you die.
That's not a sport.
No.
I mean, you could argue it's a necessity.
I don't even think it's worth the argument. It is a necessity. So
this person's cutoff is 30.
Yes.
If you make Nathan's, you've got to do 30.
Right. What?
Felipe, could you do me a favor? All right. Could you, for this final, could you look up the final results yesterday from the hot dog eating contest? All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks. It's a bonus hour. I mean, who knows if he's going to stay between now and 10 o'clock. I mean, this is when we lose him. I fully expect him to get up and go outside and, go on a food run. But
not a bad idea. I might be doing that after the show myself.
I have a quick confession. During Best Ofs, I'm here by myself playing Best Ofs, and the last segment is the 15-minute segment, the longest one. One time I played it, ran to my car, went to Chick-fil-A, came back with 30 seconds left.
It's gutsy.
It was gutsy, but I committed to it and I did it.
I will say, nice job yesterday. Had a few people reach out to me, said they enjoyed our Best Of yesterday.
There you go.
So good job by you.
I can't find the results. What the hell is this thing called? The Nathan's?
Well, okay, could you turn the microphone off and just take it?
Look.
It's the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest 2022 results. Just curious besides, and you might even have to read an article. I know.
Oh, this is.
So that's all. Just kind of
41 got third place. I've already got it. To tell you how long it took, I've got it right here in front of me. Holy cow. Chestnut had 63. Jeffrey Esper had 47.5. James Webb was third with 41.
Oh, okay. So a guy was within 15.5. My bad. I gave bad information. I thought he won by 20. He only won by what? 15, 16.5, something like that?
Right.
He had 63, not 64.
Okay.
So 41. 40 gets you basically into the top three.
Wow.
Oh my God. There was a women's bracket.
They're always.
No, winner had 40. Runner-up had 26. Come on now.
He really doesn't listen to the show. I've mentioned the woman who won the women's division
5 times.
No, but did you mention the runner-up?
No,
that's not.
But we mentioned the women's, and you just
winner at 40.
But what I'm saying is, there's a gap in both men and women. Like both brackets, there's
Nobody
a huge gap.
cares about the women's division. You keep bringing up stuff nobody cares about. Another lesson for radio. Try to bring up things people are interested in, because the audience you're trying to keep. Okay. back to Felipe in a moment. All right. So 40 would have gotten me in the top 3 yesterday.
Yes. And you're convinced, without the shadow of a doubt, that you can get to 32 without batting an eye. Like you've
no doubt. No doubt. Mark.
This comes from going back to our first act when we were doing afternoons in this very studio, that there was it wasn't really a regional here, I don't think it was, I guess there was a region here to qualify. And 2 locals were going to try to qualify. And we brought them on. And David took the 2 of them down behind the building.
Yeah, I ate as many in 2 minutes as the 2 of them did combined.
Yes.
And that was after having a full lunch within an hour of the contest.
And I think of all the things in the full lunch that would have slowed you down more than anything was probably the big soda.
Yeah.
Not the cheese, not the double cheeseburgers. That soda takes up a lot of space.
Right. So, yeah, I'm convinced I can get to 32. But, I don't know if that even gets you there, if you know what I mean.
No, I think 32 has a shot to get you to win a region. Now, it's going to be the West region from an old NCAA tournament, if you know what I mean.
Here's the other thing. If you make it, all right, making it is one thing, but don't you have to finish? Like Felipe, what's the place that I would have to finish? They have 10 on stage, don't they?
Yes, I think so. 8 to 10.
Look, I think if you practice, you can.
Do I have to finish top 5, or is it embarrassing?
If you finish 6, I'd be like, David Moulton finished 6.
So that would be okay.
Yeah.
You?
David, I'm not even messing around here. You make it to New York, you've done something. It's like making the Olympics.
I mean, this is the next level.
I mean, come on. That guy that's the gymnast from wherever who finishes 17th. There happens to be where my daughter does gymnastics. There happens to be one of the coaches there, competed for France in the 90s. And we looked up what he did. He never medaled, but he finished like 15th or something like that, and whatever his big event was. Do you know how good that is?
Yeah, but that's sports. That's athletic. I mean,
David, your best athletic days have long passed you by.
And actually, to say I had
Right.
best athletic days, I think is a stretch.
You could put that in your Twitter bio. People would be like, oh.
It's a fair point.
Would I have to change my Twitter handle?
No.
No.
It just starts off with, I took on Joey Chestnut and lost.
I fought the law and the law won.
Right.
So just making it there would be good enough.
Yes.
Okay. I just no need to
You're
yell.
Maryland, Baltimore County here, for crying out loud. Just get there, big fella.
So getting there is the 16 seed. Is that it?
And who knows? You get there as a 16. They've beaten a 1 before.
Am I going to have to do a live show that morning?
4th of July, we never work.
Okay. So I can have the day off.
You've got the day off.
All right.
I'll take a video. I'll post it on the website.
I'll be going live on Twitch for this one. I'll be doing my own broadcasting of
Yep,
this thing.
yep. In 4K, Moulton eating hot dogs.
The only good thing about it is, mom lives in Jersey. So it would be, I'm assuming they pay for the transportation.
Would mom be embarrassed or proud of you for getting in this?
I think she'd be embarrassed. Yeah. My mom has not responded during all this discussion. That's her way of going, yeah,
Right.
this would be
The wife would probably be embarrassed.
horrified.
The daughter
would be proud as
so fired up.
would let all of her friends know. Right. She'd probably have a watch party.
There's not a doubt in my mind. In
Right.
fact, she might be my co-host on Twitch.
Yep. I could see her, with a grandchild who would be about 17 months old at that point going, that's your granddad.
Look at him go. Look at him go. She would, there's not a doubt in my mind that your daughter would think it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
She'd be the only one.
Yes. My wife would be horrified. Horrified. All right. Would consider I mean, she wouldn't leave me over it, but we may have to. She may need a few days. Like, I think I would have to stay in Jersey with my mom for the, hey, I'm going up for the 4th to see mom.
What would your
okay.
walk-up song be for eating?
Wait a minute. They have walk-up songs?
They've got to.
No.
You need a walk-up song. Like it's an at-bat.
Springsteen's Everybody's Got a Hungry Heart.
Perfect. Then you got the crowd. You're going to be in New York.
Sure,
You start
right.
playing Bruce. They'd start singing it.
I was going to say, in Coney Island, maybe Billy Joel would be more popular. Maybe. That's about it.
But Hungry Heart, that was a crowd sing-along song at a Springsteen concert. That'd get everybody into it. You'd have the fans on your side, David.
Come on, everybody. Everybody's got a hungry heart. Come on now. Be on my side. Oh, yeah. All right. I'll look to see when the regionals are.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
That's the first step.
Nothing posted yet because I've already looked.
Well, you know what we should do? You could look up when the 2022 dates were and locations and all that. I mean, how far do I have to travel for this thing? I hope I don't have to leave the state.
I think with what we do for a living, we could probably get a regional in one of our markets.
Okay. All right. Think the Florida Sports Network would get behind this?
I'm going to make them. I'm making a phone call after the show. I now have a promotion. I don't know if there was going to be a year 2, but now I've got a reason.
Yeah. Well, year 2's always, TBD. Tell you
Got
what.
week 1 spreads, and I got Moulton in a hot dog eating contest. It's been a hell of a Tuesday.
Just pondering it. It's just the fact that nobody's given them a contest. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. Tell you what, though, they're going to have the camera on you when you eat. It's
only on Chestnut.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, unless you're doing something special, you're not getting a lot of airtime.
Good. That's good. Because I'm already feeling embarrassed, which is what I voted in the poll question. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost clubhead speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa Filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa Filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa Filters.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the chicken bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
It's what they have. They're trying to make it a lot like Banyan Dunes
Wow.
or Bandon Dunes.
Djokovic's down at break point here. What's Goran?
That was long. Oh boy.
God, look how far behind the baseline he is. Holy blank.
For a second serve too.
Oh. He had such a short return. He's at the baseline.
So what did you see? There was a story I saw over the weekend like this. Probably been an East Coast Hockey League type goaltender, Russian goaltender drafted, but he got arrested because he tried to avoid their draft. He doesn't want to fight against Ukraine, and they arrested him.
Over there? Yeah. Wow.
I will say, being number two, they are still at war with the Ukraine, and it's like that's already been we've already pushed that aside.
Well, I just don't. Besides giving them all we've given them $8 billion in.
No, I don't mean like the government. I just mean as an American society, we've just pushed that. That's how quickly we get And trust me, there are bigger things to worry about in our own country. I get it.
This is the song I have David walking into the contest in.
I do the Sopranos theme before I would do that.
Yeah.
By the way, since the moment I started dogging on this kid for not having a chance against Djokovic, he hasn't lost.
Did he break them?
I don't know. I went to the bathroom,
So
but he
he had a
tied it
break
up.
point, and then Djokovic made a backhand error. I think Djokovic
Joker
won
won, but
because he hit a forehand to go up ad.
You're joking.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. People are wondering certain things that have happened since we last did a show. And in our Twitch chat room, I don't know what's being said on the text line, but it's like, hey, have you mentioned this? Hey, did you mention this? I've had multiple people go, hey, did you mention that 17-year-old kid set the new pole vaulting record?
No. Until now. Now we have.
No.
I hope everyone's happy.
Now, I will say we haven't spent a lot of time on Ryan McDonough. The Lightning approached him. He had a no-trade clause in his contract and 4 years left on it. And they apparently met with him last Wednesday and said, this is painful, but salary cap-wise, we'd like to trade you. And much to my surprise, I don't know about you, but McDonough agreed to it. I mean, he had the power here. He had a no-trade clause and 4 years left on a contract, and he loves living in Tampa. I mean, think of the 4.5 years he's been there. And he agreed to it, and they sent him to Nashville for a couple of parts and to free up. His salary was 6.75, and with what they got back, they probably freed up $5 million, which will likely allow him to keep Palat. I don't know who else. Maybe throw a little money Sergachev's way. But
well, I know they want to keep Nick Paul if they can keep him as well.
And they did, though. They signed him late last week.
Okay, that's right.
Right
that's
as
right.
we were headed to the
but
weekend.
I mean, part of trading him is that money.
Yep.
So
7-year deal, by the way, for Paul. He gets a little over $3 a year. 7 for 22 was the contract he signed.
But I'm with you. You know, McDonough thinks a little more highly of Nashville than I think you and I do of where they're at.
Now, it is interesting. They have a terrific goalie who got hurt right before the playoffs. I mean, with the way he played this year, he was top 5 goalie in the league.
And they've got one of the 2 best defensemen in the league.
5 best. This year, he was one of the 2 best. He barely lost out on the Norris to Makar. But, yeah, Roman Yossi's terrific. So they're now going to have in Nashville what they just had in Tampa, where they had Hedman and McDonough. They're going to have Yossi and McDonough. And a terrific goalie. They don't have a lot of goal scoring, though. But who knows? Maybe they can find some. But so a couple of things that have taken place since we last did a show. Just throwing it out.
Also, the most important thing that's happened between our last show and now is David got a haircut. And during the haircut, the person cutting his hair said, whoops.
Correct. And brought the owner/manager over, and she said, and I quote, oh, boy.
Now, the fact of the matter is, I think David's hair looks great. And it's not because I'm taking that side. If I thought it looked awful, I would tell him. I think he knows that by now. But there are 2 people who don't like the haircut. Your mother and Logic Man in our Twitch chat room, who says you look, reminds him of his middle school bus driver. So there are 2 that are on your side along with you. David thinks it's the one of the 3 worst haircuts of his life.
Yes, I hate it. And literally everybody else, except for my mother, has told me how much they love the haircut. Wife, who never even notices when I get a haircut, she noticed right away and told me how much she loved it. So that right there just set me off. Daughter told me how much younger it makes me look. You look trendy.
That's a good way to describe it. Trendy. Yes.
Unbelievable.
A trendy David Moulton.
Yeah. What an oxymoron that is.
It's something. Now, you're not much of a drinker. You never really have been. Out of the 2 of us, I imbibe more. So this story might be a little bit more to my liking, but there is a new drug on the market, a new pill on the market. It is a hangover prevention pill that breaks down alcohol. It went on sale today across the pond.
I thought it was called Taco Bell.
That's a damn good point right there, David. But this, after an hour, it can reduce your blood alcohol level by up to 70%. Apparently, it breaks down alcohol in your system for 12 hours. And it costs about $1 a pill. You need to take 2 pills an hour before you drink for maximum effect. And it basically says you will not have a hangover. That's cheap. I could make a mint on colleges just by myself.
Is that a 100% guarantee you won't have a hangover? Like, is there anything behind that, or are they just making that claim?
Yeah. Are there side effects too?
Side effects I have not seen, but they have done enough studies on this that has been released, and things get released in Europe a lot more easily than they get released here. But there's enough research behind it that it does break down the blood alcohol, and it does break down, because of it breaking down the alcohol, you won't have the hangover that you would, because it's the alcohol that caused that. So breaking it down in your system.
So you're still hammered. All right. They're taking the hangover away.
Well, no, because it said it cuts your blood alcohol level up to 70%.
Huh.
Also begs the question, what's the point then? I mean, after an hour, my blood alcohol level's down 70%. Why am I drinking that much? I mean, you could just drink less.
Right. I'm actually worried about the effect that this could have. People now think that they can go out
and drink 65 beers
and drink more than they have been, right? And then, oh, well, now I can get behind the wheel of a car. I mean,
Or people can just pony up and deal with the hangover.
I'm surprised, by the way, across the pond they would even partake in using the pill. They're proud drinkers across the pond.
Right. You wouldn't take a pill. Like if I could offer you up, you take these 2 pills, you go out hard, you're not going to feel any effects. You wouldn't sign up for that for $2?
I'd rather recover with a nice meal.
I'd rather wake up without a hangover. I'm all for this.
I was going to say, Felipe, I'm going to throw this out there. While you're still doing this job, take the pills. Okay. I mean,
there's going to be some nights
you get back on a regular shift at some point in your young life, you and the nice meal. Okay, fine.
I will say, since doing mornings, and you know it because you're next to me every morning, I very rarely partake during the week because it's too damn hard.
Right.
And there's about once every 6 months that it just happens. And I walk in here crawling on one leg going, oh no, how the heck are you going to hurt?
Had a couple last night. Yep.
So,
all right.
I'd love the idea of this. I'll keep you posted. There'll be a follow-up when they're available in the States.
Do you know one of our listeners went to Texas recently and found an 8-pack of eight Troy Aikman's beer, and heard the interview and this, that, and the other thing, and heard me specifically talking about it. So sent me half of the 8-pack.
And?
I'm going to drink it.
Oh, you haven't had it yet?
No, but I'm going to beginning tonight.
He only sent you half?
Yeah, he kept the other half for himself.
I like that it's an 8-pack. I'll go right there. I like that.
Makes sense. 8.
No, I know.
Right.
I mean, what was Emmett's number? 22? Should he sell a 22-pack then too?
Well, Emmett would probably want a piece. So,
I mean, that maybe a Michael Irvin pack for the really big drinker,
Mike
right?
Was 88,
yeah,
right?
Have an 8, a 22, and an 88 pack. I think that's really what that should be going on there. That's just me.
Troy 8 men? No? Okay, I'm done.
I was cleaning out the garage yesterday, found an NFL country CD. He recorded 2 songs, one with Toby Keith and one with Waylon Jennings.
I didn't know I knew he did the Toby Keith one. I didn't know he did one with Waylon.
Yeah, I guess it was Aikman, 3 of his teammates, and an assistant coach. They did some Dallas Cowboys song. Yeah, it's on NFL country. I sent Joe and Troy a text yesterday and said, I'm bringing this to the booth week 3 when we have Cowboys Giants.
Get that signed. That's fantastic.
So, Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts. Thanks for spending this first Tuesday in July with us. Miller and Moulton, where else but the Florida Sports Network.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed subs with the freshest quality ingredients. Enjoy our famous steak bomb with perfectly grilled marinated sirloin steak topped with provolone cheese, grilled onions, peppers, mushrooms, crispy bacon, juicy tomatoes, and creamy mayo. Boom! Made-to-order crispy fries can be paired with the Gator, the Cuban, the Chicken Bomb, or the Italian. Love local. Eat delicious with John Smith Subs. Find a John Smith Subs location near you today.
Golfers, are you bored of the same old driving range warm-up routine that's not getting you the results that you want on the course? Power up your golf swing by adding resistance bands to your range sessions with the Orange Whip Golf's Power Strap Kit. Featuring band attachments to your feet and hips, Power Strap resistance training will boost club head speed, increase power, improve flexibility, all with just a few swings. Buy a Power Strap Kit today. Go to orangewhipgolf.com and use code Miller10 to receive an additional 10% off the already great price of $119.
David Moulton for Napa, Napa Auto Parts, and Napa Filters. Insist on Napa filters for your vehicles, or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters. Napa has a filter for almost anything on earth that moves, whether it's motorcycles, foreign and domestic cars, vans, SUVs, earth-moving equipment. You get the idea. Napa Auto Parts, Napa filters. Insist on them for your vehicles, or if you're do-it-yourselfer, only buy Napa filters.
Mark Miller for SWFL Golf Carts, or online, flgolfcarts.com. If you're looking for a golf cart, an e-bike, or an e-motorcycle, go visit Alex and the gang at SWFL Golf Carts. flgolfcarts.com online. Check out their whole inventory. If you're looking for a custom cart, they can take care of you. 2-seater, 4-seater, 6-seater, they've got you covered. E-bikes, nobody better for value and service. E-motorcycles, check them out. Again, flgolfcarts.com. flgolfcarts.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Logic, are you referring to the Fightins? I think you're talking about the Fightins right now. Yeah, the Fightins are on another level right now.
Oh, it's windy down there.
The one and only. We're talking about the Fightins.
Boy, Djokovic just missed an easy shot for him. Set point.
Might not catch the Mets all risk, but they're only a game back of the Cardinals right now.
Here's the thing that hurts the Phillies. Oh, great drop shot. A deuce in the think about who the Cardinals, they have the Cubs, the Pirates, and the Reds, and the Phillies have to get their wins against the Nats and the Marlins. The Marlins are a decent team. They really are. I mean, they're almost 500.
And the Pirates and Reds just aren't committed to even trying to get better. So they are what they are.
I think the Pirates are the best of that threesome too, but they're not committed this year to winning it all. And he just won the first set.
Oh, I think the crowd loves that. They're like, all right, now we might have a match.
Yep. I don't think the Devils trade the number 2 pick. But I do think the Devils might spend some money on a goalie. I mean, I think the NL East is the best fourth place team in the National League. Because I think the Marlins are better than both Arizona and Colorado.
Have you guys ever heard of CERN? CERN?
What is it?
Apparently, today in the UK, there is a giant super collider being set off that is about to start smashing protons together at an unprecedented energy level in its quest to reveal more secrets about how the universe works.
Huh.
People are saying it's going to open portals to another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. The CERN super collider. Today at 10 our time, so right when the show ends, 3 p.m. UK time. Trying to create a mini black hole. Oh, so the world's ending today. Oh, it's in Switzerland?
Thanks for listening. And now, more of Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. There are a couple of things that have already happened in the sports world today. By the way, Djokovic just lost the first set to this 20-year-old Italian quarterfinalist. What's his name? Sinner?
Yes.
And he was up 4-1.
4-1, and then Sinner got it going.
Took 6 of the last 7 games, won it 7-5. 4-1 was just one break, but still. Djokovic hasn't lost a match here in 5 years, so when he loses a set, it's Nick Kyrgios, who's in the quarters, he is facing an assault charge from a former girlfriend. The alleged incident took place late last year. And Kyrgios said through a spokesperson that take this allegation very seriously. He has an August 2nd court date and not going to comment any further. So that's unusual. Someone who's in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon being charged with assaulting their girlfriend. And something that's never happened before, Mark, in the NHL. Happened this morning. Mike Greer, named general manager of San Jose Sharks. He just happens to be black. That's the first black general manager in league history. You and I both like Mike Greer. I mean, he had a nice, 10, 12-year career.
Right.
He's a power forward.
Good player.
Yeah. So the Sharks had narrowed it down to one of 2 former players, and they hired Greer.
And I think we're about done with the hiring in the NHL. I don't know what's left.
Well, does San Jose have a head coach? Or have we hired all the coaches also?
Maybe San Jose needs a coach because the carousel was about done.
Yeah, they fired the coach either Friday or Saturday. So that whoever they were going to hire as GM was going to have a clean slate. So, and boy, it's been mostly retread city.
That's all it is.
Oh, I even think for the NHL, they went a little crazy on the retreads this year. I mean, it was laughable. Over half the vacancies have just been the shell game.
And Trotz doesn't take a job.
I know. How about that? But Maurice goes from Winnipeg to Florida. All right. Cassidy goes from Boston to Vegas. DeBoer goes from Vegas to Dallas. What's his face? Bonus goes from Dallas to Winnipeg. It's unbelievable. And then they drag Tortorella
Right. In
out of the
Philadelphia.
booth and give him the Flyers job. It was just an amazing recycling job by the NHL general managers this year. I mean, even for them, I'll give Yzerman a little credit. He at least gave the John Cooper's right-hand guy, one of them in Tampa, Lalonde, he gave him the Red Wings job. I mean, good for Stevie I.
Yeah, he hired a guy that he
knows,
Right.
but still, he at least give an assistant a shot. And you and I both know they're not ready to win this year. They are going to be ready to win next year.
No, but they'll have to be better. He's got to make an improvement. He's got to do something to show everyone that he's competent.
Well, he's going to actually, in a year, going to have to spend a little money. Going to have to start acquiring some talent. Just drafting it.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Starting 1898, Lizzie Arlington becomes the first woman to play professional men's baseball. She pitches the ninth for Reading against Allentown, allows 2 hits and a walk, but preserves the 5-0 win. 1946, Sam Snead wins the British Open at St. Andrews, his only Open title. Today in 54, Elvis steps into the studios in Memphis at Sam Phillips' place and record 4 songs, including That's All Right. Heard it was pretty good. 1968, Rod Laver wins Wimbledon in straight sets. It's the first time prize money is ever offered at Wimbledon.
68.
68. You got a trophy before then.
Right.
74, Chrissy wins her first Wimbledon. 75, Arthur Ashe beats Connors for the Wimbledon title. Also on that day, at the Nebworth Festival in England, Pink Floyd debuts their album Wish You Were Here. 1980, Borg beats McEnroe in the epic 5-setter. 8-6 in the 5th for his 5th straight Wimbledon crown. 86, Martina wins her 7th. 87, Pat Cash wins his only Grand Slam, beating Ivan Lendl, or Yvonne Lendl, however you want to say it. Probably the correct way would be the right way to do it. 87, also, Mark McGuire becomes the first rookie to hit 30 home runs before the All-Star game, as Oakland would beat Boston. Today in 89, the Seinfeld pilot debuts on NBC. So it was a summer run.
Well, for the first 3 to 4, I mean, they were giving it all sorts of 4 episodes here, 7 here, this day, that day. I mean, it's remarkable that it even got a full run.
It really is. It really is, because I've gone back and watched it. The first few aren't that good. I mean, it took the show a while to find its form. 92, Agassi wins his first of 8 Grand Slams, winning Wimbledon. Today in 94, Amazon was founded.
It was a shock, by the way, that Agassi won Wimbledon. Remember, he boycotted it early in his career, saying he was allergic to grass, which, of course, was BS. He basically didn't think he could compete at Wimbledon. And so Nick Bollettieri wouldn't enter him in Wimbledon. And then he beats Goran Ivanisevic in a 5-set final.
97 at 16, Martina Hingis becomes the youngest Wimbledon winner in 110 years. In 98, Sampras retains his title, the 5th of his 7 Wimbledon crowns. 2003, Serena beats her sister to defend her title. 2008, Venus beats Serena to defend her title. And in 2009, Roger Federer wins his 15th, beating Andy Roddick. Those born today that are no longer with us: P.T. Barnum, John McKay, and James Burke. You would know him as Jimmy the Gent, the character that the Goodfellas character was based upon. Those that are still with us: Robbie Robinson from the band is 79. Gary Matthews and Huey Lewis are 72. Goose Gossage is 71. James Lofton, 66. Eddie Falco from The Sopranos is 59. John LeClaire is 53. Chris Groton, 47. Megan Raponi, 37. And Otani celebrates his 28th birthday today in Florida.
In Miami, baby. That's a party.
Rapinoe's going to get the, I think, Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yes.
I think coming up.
And that is, today was the day when.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
Sure, that hangover cure could have been the good, but let's go to Morristown, Tennessee, at the Walmart, where Lindsay Russell spent an entire lunch hour trying to get a tiny kitten out of the Pepsi machine. She couldn't do so. So she called the fire department. They came to the rescue and were able to get the cat from the Pepsi vending machine without harm. For the bad, we go to Pasco County, where parts of the county are quarantining after the discovery of the giant African land snail. Apparently in Pasco County, David, they have enough of these evasive giant African land snails that they're quarantining areas. It can cause meningitis if the parasites get to you that are inside of these things. So not only do we have those beetles last week, now we have giant African land snails, David. Finally, the ugly.
Seems like a problem.
It really does. A feud between neighbors has caused the death of a rooster. James Nix of Jacksonville spent 30 hours in jail following his arrest that left his neighbor's roosters dead. The reason he shot the rooster, he claims, was self-defense. I'm defending myself, you know. I was fearing for my safety, and the chicken died. He said he grabbed a nearby stick and accidentally hit the rooster, killing the man's beloved pet. Nick said, call it a lucky shot. And that, David, is the good, the bad, and the Kentucky Fried Ugly on today, July the 5th, 2022.
Finger licking good.
By the way, Djokovic was just broken early second set, and the future king and queen of England are in attendance. So Djokovic down a set and a break.
Did you all see what he did there? He was able to get the Royals into the segment.
They don't often attend matches at the Fortnite. I mean, it's not like they show up every year. So for whatever reason, William and Kate had nothing to do on a Tuesday afternoon. They said, let's get dressed up and, head on over to the W there. Got a tweet, Mark, from Carl, who says that I'll have to join MLE, Major League Eating. It's sanctioned by the International Federation of Competitive Eating, and they've sanctioned the event since '97. Only entrants currently under contract by MLE can compete in the contest.
All right, we'll go fund me for whatever those entry fees are. We can get that done.
Well, I'm hoping they're not a lot. I mean, first off, you only get 10 grand for winning the contest.
You're not doing it for the money, David, for the prestige.
Really? Prestige?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. You call
Top
that
5 eater. That's what you're trying for. Tampa's in Boston tonight, taking on the Red Sox. 7:10 start there. And as we mentioned,
sure, head on over, man. Go. I mean, 6:40 first pitch. You'll see one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball right now, Alcantara.
And Syndergaard's on the other side, so it should be a decent matchup.
Ohtani and Trout in the lineup. And if you can't make it tonight, Ohtani pitches tomorrow night. Also 6:40 start.
And Scherzer back on the bump today as the Mets take on the Reds. 6:40 start in Cincinnati for that one.
Yeah, he's been gone about 6 weeks. So there you have it. Mets and Braves trying to win games until they play one another. Coming up here in a series. Braves hosting the Cardinals once again.
Some red hot teams getting some bad teams as well. Houston's just killing it right now. They've got Kansas City. Brewers, who are playing great baseball, they get the Cubs. Braves and Cardinals, pretty good series.
Astros have won 7 in a row. They're 25 games above 500. Yet they're 5.5 games behind the Yankees for best record in the American League.
The Yankees, who are in Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates.
Nice little interleague schedule for the best team in baseball
right
there. So
So Sinner wins the first set. He is up a break in the second set on Djokovic.
He's won 9 of the last 11 games against a guy who hasn't lost a match here in 5 years. It's windy, and Djokovic is wrestling with himself. He's missing shots he doesn't normally miss, and he's trying to keep it together. And it ain't going so well.
No, it's not. He has that look of frustration right now. We'll see how this plays out at center court here as Djokovic down a set and down a break in the second set.
Mark, when you went, there was no roof.
No, I went in the 80s.
Yeah, that roof is relatively new.
Yes.
It's beautiful. I've said this a million times. God, that is so beautiful.
They paid for it themselves. They didn't ask for any tax dollars there. They just, clubs doing okay. They just reached into the funds and built that thing themselves. How were prices, by the way, when you went?
I
remember?
honestly don't remember.
Because I've never heard anybody complain about the prices.
Really? I've heard that it's super expensive.
Just saying, like the U.S. Open is notoriously expensive. And any golf event that the PGA is associated with.
Right. The
staggeringly-
women's PGA that just happened, the prices were nearly as bad as the men's.
Right.
The
So-
the $17 Michelob Ultra.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, never mind, greens fees and all that. Worth paying attention to, speaking of golf, Poulter and a couple of others, one from Spain, one from South Africa, they want to stay against the DP World Tour to get in this week's Scottish Open, but this is still to be adjudicated. And the European Tour, DP World Tour, has not gone as far as the PGA Tour. They have not banned them from the European Tour, but
they fined them.
Yes, at which they're really honked about. I mean, think about it. They got fined $100,000 for playing in Portland, or I think it was London.
Right.
And the Euros were like, hold on a second. Even the PGA Tour didn't fine the guys on tour. They just said, you're done. I mean, really? We're getting fined $100,000 for playing? Are you serious? We weren't enrolled in your tournament.
And I started wondering how lawsuits were going to happen. Well, this is how they're going to happen if the PGA and the DP World Tour start acting out of the normal, what their normal procedures are. That's where the lawsuits are going to come from. And right now, well, 1-for-1 against as far as the DP World Tour is concerned.
And, the LIV series has two things that they have to do here. They've got to get some access to the DP World Tour because you get World Golf ranking points.
Right.
And that's the other thing that they have to do. They've got to get their events, get World Golf ranking points.
Well, and they've got to find a way to get them on some sort of television because even this weekend, I'm not going to YouTube to find this stuff.
And
they had a nice field.
They had a terrific field, and they had a terrific final round, and 13 people saw it.
But I know what two buttons I can press. It's 1 and 1, and it comes right on my television to watch the John Deere. Miller and Moulton, we thank you for listening. We'll do it again tomorrow right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs and indulge in their overstuffed